Two western counties have headed east this weekend with so much at stake. For Galway, it's the defence of their All-Ireland hurling title. Clare have come dreaming of special days at Croke Park.
The hurling landscape is changing.
We are starting the round-robin system. Well, what you're about to watch is a little bit of history. It's very special. And today, it's a new chapter.
Some have adapted better than others.
Kilkenny go out of the championship.
And is this the day? Are they going to eliminate Tipperary out of the championship? Galway, Leinster champions. Clare get to Croke Park for the first time since that famous Saturday evening when Clare beat Cork in the All-Ireland final.
But local rivalries never change.
What is it about the GA and the traditional rivalry that exists between neighbouring counties?
The neighbours against the neighbours from East Clare and from South Galway. It really is a local derby contest in every sense of that word. Here's a great chance. Gerald Oakland. And it's a goal! And it's the Sparrow once again. Flung inside towards Francis Ford. Ford gets a touch. That's a great goal.
A chance to follow in the footsteps of giants.
Jonathan Glegg shoots all back of the net. An absolute rasper. There's a chance here that has to hit the back of the net, and it has. Ian Galvin. What is it about this championship? It's magical. Now let's see what these two great counties can produce.
This is a scenario that Galway fans have become familiar with in recent times. Their fourth All-Ireland semi-final in a row. Clare people make this journey for the first time in 5 years, but then, of course, 2013 was a bit special for them. It is the first of this year's All-Ireland hurling semi-finals, but who will be back at headquarters in 3 weeks' time? Galway are bidding for a third final in 4 years. Clare hoping to revisit those heady days of 2013, and the throw-in is at 5 o'clock. And of course, the teams are here in good time for this afternoon's big match. And as the Galway panel arrived in here a little bit earlier on, much of the speculation from their point of view is, will Daithí Burke line out at full back for Galway? We don't know yet, and I will be talking to the panel about that in a little while. Just a reminder that for the first time, there will be extra time if necessary for this hurling semi-final. Joining me here in studio this afternoon, Anthony Daly, Cyril Farrell and Eddie Brennan on what is, lads, turning out to be a grand evening for hurling after all the rain we had earlier on. So we're ready to go with this one, Cyril. But the question is Galway ready to rock?
Oh yeah, like they're looking forward to this, Michael. They retained the Leinster Championship and now they're trying to retain the All-Ireland. By doing that, they have to beat Clare. Now look, Clare Galway will take a life of its own because Anthony knows well, the form will go out the window really. There'll be no form. Even though Galway are the form team going in, like Clare have had a good run as well, it won't count for anything once the game starts. And to me, it's going to be very interesting how Clare are going to set up. How are they going to unhinge this Galway defence? Because Galway are playing very settled. They've played against sweepers. They've kind of worked their way through it. And when people bring out extra players midfield, Galway are trying to hold back their backs and bring out their forwards and score from outside. Now, Clare have pace, which will hurt Galway if they can use it properly. Tony Kelly, David Reilly, Podge Collins, he'll be out around midfield as well. And they'll come from deep, try to pop the ball on the shoulder or even hit it into space. It's an intriguing game. A good start is more than half the battle. I hope the referee lets it flow. And as you said, there is a question mark about Galway's full back, which is a big question mark because Daithí Burke, Galway need a fit, dominant Daithí Burke because they are himself and John Conlon. Everyone is looking forward to this challenge.
And of course, Anthony during the week has been saying he's not entirely convinced by Galway, so we get a lot of slagging from Galway people about that.
Yeah, quite a story, Michael. Yeah, but it was all a bit quiet after the Super 8, so I said I better throw in the ball there on Tuesday evening and get things going. And yeah, a bit of a story. But sure, I think if you honestly do look at Galway's form this year in a line maybe with Kilkenny, Eddie, you know, that like Limerick probably only for one Murphy would have beaten Kilkenny a nice bit, and Galway kind of struggled with them. And Clare gave Limerick a good trimming in it. So on that sense, I would say Clare, if they turn up today, with Galway there's a sort of a knowing. I would feel, though, you know, that they've been there, they've done it, and they've delivered last year and mostly this year. With Clare, there's a hoping. No, I'm hoping, and I'm strongly hoping, but we don't know for sure. But you know, it's probably heart and head. But I think we've been dying. Little did we think. We've great memories of 5 o'clock throw-ins out here, Michael, from 5 years ago on a Saturday evening, because that was one special day. But to think that Shane O'Donnell, that would be his first time coming back down underneath that Hogan stand.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. But we're here. We've talked enough about it. We have to go out and deliver now.
Are they giving lightning?
And by the way, if Galway win, we'll be reminding you about the doubts you're expecting during the week. Eddie, how do you see this?
Yeah, I suppose the lads have said it there. It's down to setups. It's down to the question mark of Dahi Burke, which, look, again, I suppose like the rumour mill in the GA is a great little thing as well. Like, and the media outlets would have been delighted with it. And time will tell, I suppose, really what's going to happen. But I think it's a really intriguing match as well. I think definitely it'll come down to maybe. I think the pressure is probably on Galway given where they are and their development and the fact they're All-Ireland champions, so it's to jump that hurdle and get to the final again. Whereas Clare can probably really let fly today. I think Galway, it's all about making that final. And from my own experience, I found All-Ireland semi-finals can be a weird kind of an occasion because it's a bit like, you know, the bride not turning up for the wedding in a way, because you don't get to the big day. You want the big day. And I found from our own experiences was, you know, I ended up going over to New York in 2005 at 10:30 in the morning, going into a pub watching Clare, Cork and Galway.
You did not, did you?
I did, yeah. Paid $20 as well. That was the stinging part. But you came out of the match, and I remember being stung over it, saying Galway had Torrington's, beat us fair and square in 05, and then just a little bit different in the All-Ireland. And it was a motivating factor for us to go, I want to get to the big day. I think I found it harder to lose a semi-final, and it hurt more so than getting to the big day. Like, so that's why today it's a funny occasion. It's just all about getting over the line. It doesn't matter if it's ugly or good, get there, and then you can really lift.
I think that's why there's more pressure on Galway. I think an awful lot of Clare people are coming here today, Michael, and they'd be thrilled if Clare emptied the tank and absolutely tested Galway to their limits. If it's not good enough, they go back down the M7 and say, what harm? We got back to Croke Park. The boys achieved a fair bit this year, 4 big championship wins. I think there's a lot in that. Really have a go.
But talking about Galway, talking lads last week, and some of the managers were saying, put yourselves in Kilkenny's shoes a few years ago, and they were real good. They didn't mind who came against them in Croke Park, didn't mind what way it was set up against them. They played their game. So I'd be hoping today that Galway go play their game, let Clare try to counteract as much as they can, but I really believe if Galway get their game going, they're good enough to beat them.
Just before, Cyril, we talk more about this match, we just want to mention the minor match, Galway involved in that as well against Dublin. And they've got off to a good start in the day, beating Dublin by 322 to 16 points and played well. So.
Yeah, and a very unusual thing, Michael. It's a brand new, Jeffrey Linsky is doing a fantastic job. His management team are brand new, plus the players are brand new, and a trouble lot from football, you know, kind of backgrounds. There's a young Jennings lad there. His father used to play a bit for Kiltrauma Hurling. This guy is on a kind of development panel for the rugby for Connacht in Ireland. So it's be interesting. We hope he'll stay on at the hurling. But you know, there's that kind of a person coming into the hurling, which is great.
Okay, let's move on to the senior match against Cyril. And I know Cyril wants to talk about the Galway halfbacks now. Of course, Cyril, you managed a Galway team with a famous half-back line.
Well, they were called famous, and this lad played in a famous half-back line as well. To me, the half-back line of any team is the engine. Here's Pádraig Manning, playing out of his skin probably this year. Great to read the ball, good in the air, kind of fearless kind of a hurler. Now, when he plays well, Galway seem to play well. But he's played with UCG all last year, plays a whole with the Haskell phone, but a great player and kind of really fulfilling his promise. And he's on one wing, loves to sweep in behind the ball. And this fella, watch this fella now. This fella is unorthodox, but his horsepower strong. Usually gives a little hand pass, pops it off to someone. Usually to be Johnny Corner, Dave Burke, and they'll flash it hard. Loves going under the high ball. Most of the wing backs, the Galway wing backs, kind of sweeping behind him. He's very good in the air, and again a little hand pass away, flicks it away fast. Once it comes into him at all, he loves to get under the high ball because both Hart and Mannion like to sweep behind him. Here's Aidan Hart. This guy's played in a lot of positions to go wing back, midfield, wing forward. Had his critics, but he's really kind of stepped up to the plate in the last year or two. Again, very good in the air, you know, and again a little pop pass, kind of has developed his game and very capable of getting a long range point. The three of these in the half back line, if they get on top today with the two midfielders, that's the engine of the team. So with Johnny Cohen and David Burke. If that five get on top for Galway, I have no doubt Galway will win. But you'll find that Clare will have that middle third crowded, and they'll try to bring these fellas all over the pitch.
Aidan Hart even got him to draw in the Leinster final. Remember the very last ball, Walter himself. Sam Walter's going to catch this the size of him, and he got it to ground.
That's right.
And they held on to it and got the draw.
Reading some of the people who've been writing, obviously, as so many people are about the match day, a lot of the mentions Anthony, has been about the fact that they view Galway as having the bigger impact off the bench. How do you see all of that stuff?
Yeah, I see it as a mixed bag a little bit. You know, they're very good. Niall Burke is a bit hard done by to be left off today, like nominated for man of the match in the drawing, but is a great option coming on. And obviously this fella, Jason Flynn, has probably accepted now, Michael, that he won't start and is kind of comfortable in the subs role, but every day he comes in, he causes havoc with teams. And you see again here, like he catches over Paddy Deegan's head, and Murphy, I suppose, he's just having the season of seasons, again defies him. With Clare, we've been very lucky this year. We've other guys that I'm not even going to highlight here. Hodge has come back into play, but this guy, Ian Galvin, every day he has come on against Tip. That was the crucial ball that came off the post, went down the field. David Fitzgerald from mine, probably a regular for the last year and a half or so. You know, not getting on this year, but every day he has come on, has made a huge impact. Two great scores against Limerick and Innis, which set the tone after Shane O'Morey got injured early. You know, late on against Cork, there's a pity probably this wasn't 5 minutes earlier. You know, cut through the Cork defence, spots Galvin loose, and a brilliant finish again. And I'm not even mentioning Conor McGrath here, who to me nearly should be lining out. And then there's the big noise in Clare. Aaron Shanahan is back after the cruciate, and he was our big white hope. Like, he was our Johnny Glenn, and got the cruciate injury. He's back. It's hard on Derek Horry losing his place in the 26. He has come on in most games, and you know there's a bit in that.
But Anthony as well, talking about Conor McGrath, from the inside the camp, he's flying.
Yeah.
He's actually he's a great hurler who's kind of lost his form, but if he came back into form, he's capable of beating anyone.
But of course, Cyril, the big talk going into this match is Dahi Burke, the Galway fullback. Is he going to make it? Is he not? Now, I suppose with all these things these days, the panel keep everything like very, very close to their.
Yeah,
Is there any point in asking you what you've heard in Galway?
Well, I tell you,
He definitely knows, Michael.
listen. I didn't like to ask the lads I know well on the panel because one left from home.
I know.
But I know he did get a slight hairline fracture. He's probably able to play. Wouldn't be 100% right, but knowing Dahi Burke, he'd want to play, and and he will play. And Galway can't use it as an excuse. But I'll tell you one thing: if he can't play, and if he's not right, it's a big setback to Galway, because like he kind of he gels the full back line together through cornerbacks. And as I'd often say, like, he's able to play full back without a hurl, in the sense that he knows how to tackle, he's in the right place, maybe coming from the football world, a bit like Conor Cleary. These guys are kind of used to kind of tackle without, with their hands, and like it's a big plus in a
It's probably a little dilemma for Micheál Donoghue that any manager doesn't want. Okay, what do I do now? Because if he's at less than 95%, with the modern game, I think it now is a dilemma. It's a crisis in a way. You say, right, do we gamble on him or do we not? He has to be hauled off after 10 minutes.
It's probably the first crisis Micheál Donoghue has got.
I suppose it depends where it is. If it's down in a bone, in the middle of a bone, and it's a hairline, that will be okay. But if that's pinching when you turn, that's a different, so it might change even Clare's tactics. Because I'm looking at that from Donald Maloney's point of view, I'm going, okay, we're now putting a speedster in on you.
But I suppose the thing about it is, we're all speculating and we're going to know in about a half an hour.
We'll know quick enough.
Anyway, listen, we are headed for a break in just.
This is Ireland. This is our culture. Connacht versus Munster. Can you hear the roar? Because it's coming all the way from the west of Ireland. And in the twinkle of an eye, in the space of a minute and a half, the game goes towards Galway. Is the famine over? It's over! Galway are the All-Ireland champions 2017. Can you believe it? They're in Croke Park for the first time in 5 years.
It's Clare versus Cork, the sequel. Across towards O'Donnell. O'Donnell goes. Dwindle, they've missed it. And O'Donnell is in for a hat-trick. O'Donnell has got it. Brilliant finishing by Shane O'Donnell. Davy Fitzgerald has done it. Clare are the champions. Saturday night hurling fever grips Croke Park.
So many of the Galway and Clare fans have headed up the road together from the west this weekend. Who will be heading home with smiles on their faces, and who will have their hopes dashed? We're about to find out. Well, now, I guess you're familiar with the song lyric, "It's a long way from Clare to here." Actually, today it isn't, because it's Clare McNamara and she's down pitch side.
Yes, I am indeed, Michael. Thank you. Well, the heavy rain we had earlier has eased off. The showers gone away for now, thankfully. The team's just out on the pitch. Galway just out. Dahi Burke there as well. Of course, there has been, as you've been talking about, a lot of rumours about his fitness in the build-up to this All-Ireland semi-final. So it's time for us now to take a check on today's teams. Let's go up to our commentary box and join Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Clare. Yes, Brendan and myself are really looking forward to this, because since the fixture was made a couple of weeks ago, we knew that they were going to be playing in the semi-final. Well, the rivalry between Clare and Galway took on a real new intensity. You may be certain that Clare would love nothing more than to dislodge the current champions. Let's check on the two teams then. We'll start with Clare. And just like Galway, Clare have gone with a change of goalkeeper this year. It's Donald Tuohy's first match back here since the 2010 qualifiers against Dublin. Clare's captain, Patrick O'Connor, is one of their 2013 All-Ireland winners this afternoon, facing the tribesmen for the fourth time, one win so far. The only one of today's half-backs to feature against Cork in Clare's last title success is Sheana Mori. He came on as a sub that afternoon. Well then, as now, Colm Galvin was an essential part of Clare's centre-field pairing, battling today alongside the industrious Cathal Malone. And looking to rekindle the magic produced the last time Clare was here is the number 11, Tony Kelly. He swept the boards with honours galore in that never-to-be-forgotten season. And just ahead of him is a line led by the informed John Conlon, containing the crafty Podge Collins and the man of the match when Clare were last here, Shane O'Donnell. And bang on cue, Galway come out of the field, including their goalkeeper, James Skehill, who'll be on his toes today, playing back in Croke Park for the first time in 5 years. He's playing behind a full back line, marshalled brilliantly by the man who's been the all-star fullback on 3 occasions. You heard about him there in injury worry, Dahi Burke from Turlough. And in a back line that's unchanged for the third game in a row, Padraig Mannion is the one taking the eye for most hurling followers with his towering performances all year long. At centre field for Galway, it's a 40th championship appearance for Johnny Cohen as he continues his partnership with the captain, David Burke. This is the 5th time that Joe Canning has faced Clare in the championship. The first was in 2009 as a 20-year-old when he scored 7 points. And then the inside line shows the return of Conor Cooney to the starting 15. He replaces Niall Burke with Johnny Glynn now at wing forward. Well, it's been an eventful summer so far for the management teams. Jerry O'Connor and Donald Maloney of Clare looking today for a consistent performance, while Galway's Micheál Donoghue is hoping his charges can play with the brilliance they showed in the first half of the Leinster final in particular, that replay. Only their best will do. And they've been talking with Clare.
Jerry, Clare back at Croke Park for the first time since that 2013 success. So what's the feeling in your dressing room in there now? Is it one of nerves, excitement?
It's actually very relaxed. We've just got off the bus there, train journey up this morning. Everything went really well. Guys are out on the field now, just reacquainting themselves with it. We're obviously massive underdogs, but look, basically today is all about us expressing ourselves. We understand and accept that we're conceding physically to Galway, but you know, today is about. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight today. It's about the size of the fight in the dog, and our guys are up for the fight and the battle today.
Micheál, a lot of rumours during the week about Dahi Burke's fitness, but you named him in your team last night, so any concerns?
No, we're players selected, so he's good to go, yeah.
Was it a problem with his ankle, or?
Yeah, he just picked up a knock, but I think it's been exaggerated throughout the week. You know, he trained with us towards the latter stage last week, so I said he's rearing to go.
Now you're on a long unbeaten championship run, so you must be accustomed at this stage, are you, to being favourites for games?
Look, we don't really look about it. You know, we can't control what's been said about us. Yeah, obviously, you know, we've had a good run, and we want to keep that run continuing today. And look, you know, we're under no illusion it's going to be a tough challenge. But look, like any other game, it's just about ourselves now and trying to get our own performance right.
Now joining me down here on the pitch is one of hurling's finest, 7-time All-Ireland winner, Richie Hogan from Kilkenny. Richie, thanks for joining us. I know you're more accustomed to being out there, stuck in the thick of things at this time of year.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't our year. It'd be great to be out there, just even looking at the flush grass and full house, or however 60 or 70,000 people here today. It'd be fantastic. It's going to be a great occasion. It's going to be a great weekend in total with both games on the same weekend for the first time.
Now the team's there. Let's talk about Galway first. You saw Dahi Burke running out there. Do you think he was a little bit hampered?
He looked to be struggling a small bit, but I've marked Dahi a good few times over the last couple of years, and you know, he is as tough as they come. and he's a fantastic defender, and he's vital obviously to this Galway team, especially in that full back position, and especially today with John Conlon, a mixture of John Conlon and Shane O'Donnell inside in that full forward line. So they'll need a big game from Dahi today, definitely.
Yeah, he's one of their strengths obviously. Now Kilkenny played them 3 times this summer, so you're well aware of Galway's strengths. You came close to them obviously in the drawn game, but you know you got that goal in the replay, but the comeback was ultimately crushed. So what are Galway's strengths? Do you see them as being beatable?
Oh well, Core. Well, every team is beatable. That's for sure. I think they're very strong, hugely physical team. They have excellent skill, excellent score takers, and I suppose they're not reliant on any 2 or 3 players. They can bring in a couple of lads from the line as well. And to be honest with you, it's all about Galway's attitude, really. You know, if they bring the attitude that they brought to the replayed Leinster final, I think they'll be very, very difficult to beat today. And I think they're a fantastic team. They're All-Ireland champions. They have a bit of experience now as well, and they're used to winning, and they'll be hard to stop today, definitely.
Yeah, now Clare haven't been back here in 5 years, which is hard to believe, I suppose. They looked calm coming out there today. They have been beaten twice this summer. How do you think they can get in there and get any kind of in on this game?
I think, to be honest with you, I think they're in a fantastic place because they have nothing really to lose, even in their own heads. They're here for the first time in a good few years. A lot of those players have been dying to get back onto that pitch out there, and the minute they came into the dressing room today, I'm sure they would have been flooded with memories of 2013, which was one of the greatest ever years for hurling, certainly in recent times. So I think they'll just give everything today, and I suppose in contrast maybe to Galway, they are depending on all of them to hurl really, really well, especially their big players.
Would you fancy them? Maybe you have a bit of a fancy?
I do, yeah. No, I fancy Clare. I think, you know, the way they play, they're not going to puck the ball down on top of those Galway backs. They're going to move them around. They're going to play their own game, regardless of what way it'll go, and I give them a great chance. Yeah,
okay, well, you're bucking the trend then, I suppose, because everybody else more or less going for Galway. That's the view from down here in the pitch side, Michael.
Yeah, when Richie was mentioning there that he fancies Clare, Anthony was saying, I'm not the only Egypt in Ireland, obviously. We were looking there,
he's hurling.
We were looking, lads, while they were talking down there at Dahi Burke. Ankles fairly heavily strapped, and Richie actually said it there. He said he didn't think he was looking too kind of fluent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I suppose he comes across as the kind of guy that'll be head over the body, like the head is willing, that's it. And if it's something, we say, within a bone, it just depends. If that's something that's pivotal when you're turning or you have to turn very fast, that's when it's going to possibly get tested. If it's contained in the middle of a bone, he's just going to have to play through the pain, and I'd say no better buckle to do that.
If anyone is able to do that,
I'd say, and that's why I'd say Micheál Donoghue maybe, as he said himself, it probably grew a little bit of legs, and he probably said, you just turn around, you say to someone like him, you okay, gives you the thumbs up, that's it, it's tally-ho.
Yeah.
But if it is impacting on how quickly he can turn, then it alters Dahi Burke's mindset as regards he's going to sit there on that square and he's not going to be going too hard out to the wing.
But as well, nowadays, like the medical staff will be big in any team now. They wouldn't pass. They would have the final say on the passing fit or not, and they wouldn't pass them unless he's able to twist and turn, as you say. They'll have all that tested. It might hurt them, but otherwise they wouldn't pass them fit, because you'd have a lot of medical guys now, compared to before, and to be their call, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is an important side of it, because I remember a Galway footballer in an All-Ireland final, and he told me afterwards, when he got out of bed that morning, he couldn't put his foot on the ground. But he still went out and played in the All-Ireland final because he wanted to.
It's mind over matter.
Yeah, well,
and it can be foolhardy at times, Michael, because you want to play in a game like this.
That's
and
the point,
but I think that he'd be that sort of a grounded fella. If he thought he was going to let down the side, he'd call it, I think, beforehand and would say, I'm not ready.
Yeah,
he would.
Yeah. As I said earlier, we'll find out fairly soon. But I'll tell you one thing, it is 2 years since Galway and Clare last met in the championship. The tribesmen won that quarter-final by 6 points. Who will have the upper hand today? It's coming up shortly. Yeah, I have to say it is a beautiful evening here in Dublin for this All-Ireland semi-final. The weather, I'm sure the rest of the country was the same, was absolutely terrible this morning, but it's cleared up beautifully. As you can see, the sun is shining and the teams are ready to go. And in a moment, we are waiting for the arrival of Uachtaráin Ahern, Michael G. Higgins. He'll be coming out to meet the players. Just while we're waiting for him, these final moments for a team in this kind of situation, Anthony. All-Ireland semi-final, big day, obviously. Saturday evening, does it kind of give a slightly different feel to it, do you think?
I think, you're in the zone, Michael. You don't know whether it's Saturday, Sunday or Monday, to be honest with you. You're in Croke Park. It's a massive day. At this point in time now, I'd like to be nice and relaxed. These few minutes, having a look around, maybe taking it in. And as soon as then you go to your position, you meet your man, and you know the ball has been ready to throw in, that you're really then
And
you're saying your zone.
Shake hands, best
Well,
look
shake hands. Yeah, well, you might shake hands. It depends on who you're on, sir. You know.
But what you don't want is standing around too much, I think.
Well, I was just going to say that, Eddie, because, you know, in the modern game, as we all know, the teams are coming out earlier and earlier. They're out for nearly 2 days before the match these days. So,
And they have their little mini matches and stuff like
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
But no, the key to it, Michael, I think, is that your coach has to get his timing spot on and not call lads away. What you don't want is to be standing around. You want to be getting loads of touch of the ball, nice and relaxed. As Dale said, you want to be relaxed, that when the ball is coming to you, you're not kind of nervous and the little shake in the hurl. You want that out of your system. But what you don't want either is, okay, the president is coming out, over we come, and next thing you're standing for an additional time. You just want to time all that stuff right, that you just move through the routine and then you're slowly getting the revs up and ready to take off.
But on a day like this, Ed, I often feel that, if I can remember,
more time.
Yeah, but sometimes you've just to go with the flow.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when that bus collects you in the morning, you're nearly out of control then onto the ball that's thrown in. You know, it's somebody, and that's why the management's. And we did a preview night early in the year, didn't we? Before there was a ball thrown in down in Galway, and we said probably the best management teams would be there near the end of it.
Yeah.
These are two very strong ones.
Well, while Anthony was talking there, as you could see, Oakdron Herton, Michael D. Higgins has arrived here in Croke Park. Afternoon for Michael D. Higgins, of course. Born in Clare, grown up in Galway. Limerick man, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to enjoy this.
Well, Oakdron Herton on chin, Mihol D. O'Higgin in Einach Oakdron, Common Luke Glasgow, Sean O'Horoin, they Comptonich come Bula Leshnaforna, and that on a day when the Defence Forces are most welcome visitors to Croke Park, and where we are saying our thanks to all of the many thousands of Irish troops who have served in peacekeeping duties with the United Nations. So Patrick O'Connor, first of all, the Clare captain, gets the opportunity to introduce his men, having a word there with Conor Cleary, the big centre-back. That's Jamie Shanahan alongside him. We recognise Colm Galvin, of course, from the 2013 team. Of course, they played here against Cork in the replayed All-Ireland final on the 28th of September back in that year. Had a wonderful victory. David Reedy, there's having a great season. Podge Collins, John Galvin, he has been immense all season for Clare. And finally Shane O'Donnell, the player who got 3 goals and 3 points in that final. And then James Owens, his linesmen, James McGrath and Sean Clear, and the sideline official is James Connors from Donegal. And it's a big day as well here for the umpires in this semi-final. James Dunbar, David Owens, Ian Plunkett and Joe Kelly on duty. All been introduced by James Owens, referee for the 2015 All-Ireland final. Galway played in that, and their captain today, David Burke, now doing the honours with James Cahill back in Croke Park. There's Daithí Burke, big concern about that ankle injury that he sustained in training during the week. I think it had knocked with Johnny Glynn. There's big Gearóid McInerney, Aidan Hart from Gort. There's Johnny Cohen, one of the Loughrea players, a colleague at work indeed with David Burke in St. Bridget's in Loughrea. There's big Joe Canning from Portumna. Johnny Glynn there, number 12. Then on to Conor Whelan. Conor Cooney has been recalled to the team today. And finally, Cathal Mannion. John Horan as well, the GAA president, has his words with the two teams. So President Michael D making his way off into the stands on a day when members of the Defence Forces are being rightly honoured 60 years after they began their peacekeeping duties. But the real stars of the show today, the hurlers of Clare and Galway, now set to exchange greetings before the start of the two weekend semi-finals. Cork and Limerick can wait. They can look on, see what's going to happen today as one of these teams looks to get that all-important ticket through to next month's All-Ireland hurling final. And Pat O'Connor hopes that he will be the one leading Clare into that final. And you may be certain that David Burke and Galway, having won such a marvellous final against Waterford last year, then it was a September final. It's got to be a mid-August final this time around. All's changed, but the game we're looking forward to should be a great one. Let's hope so. Galway and Clare coming up.
Let's hope so indeed. Ger just mentioned there in passing Big Joe Canning as he was in shot. I think it's fair to say, Cyril Farrell, everybody in this Galway team at the moment is big somebody.
Yeah, like, it's funny, Michael, for a couple of years we had them all very small. We're saying, well, we're breeding them down the west, and now they're all very big. It's not by design, it's just that these bunch of hurlers have come together and they are very, very big. The shot there, say, of young Joseph Cooney, like, he's a gentle giant. He's about 6'5", 6", like, but he straightens up, and like, hopefully today he'll use it. But these guys are big, but they're very good hurlers as well. People are forgetting that, like, and good movement in them. You know, like looking at Dahi Burke there, it's a very big one for him. Like an Aidan Hart, I saw him there shaking hands with Pat O'Connor. These guys would know one another very well. Crossed the border from Gort and Beha, like Anthony was down.
I was there last night.
No, they'd be even intermarried. So like, you know, even the shaking hands is kind of funny. Like they do it all right, but like you don't mean it at all. If you could, you hit the ladder rap and get him out of the way for that hour.
And also, by the way, you heard Ger mention a few moments ago there about the Defence Forces. As you can see, the Defence Forces are being honoured here at Croke Park. Tributes are being paid to them. 60 years of unbroken service with the United Nations peacekeeping. That, by the way, is the longest unbroken service of any nation in the world. And the badge that the lads here are wearing on myself today is a fuchsia badge, and it raises funds to support homeless veterans and those in need of support in their communities. And good to have them here today. The players, however, are also in the parade. Anthony Daly. Are Clare going to the final?
Well, I always loved the parade, Michael, because no one could score 2-4 off you on the parade. I figured, you know, so I'd stay parading away all day. I have this feeling over me that we might do it, Michael.
Yeah.
It's more of a hope thing, I suppose. It's heart and head, and the heart is overruling the head. And I'm very hopeful that there's a huge day in us, and we'll take that.
A huge day in Clare he's hoping for. Will they get it, Cyril?
Yeah, well, look, Clare will rise to go, but I really believe that this is a very good Galway team. And if they're going to win 2 in a row, which I think they're good, capable of doing, Galway have it in their hands to win this match. They have to perform, though. Like, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great one, but I expect them to get through.
The general perception, Eddie, I think around the place is if Galway play up to their potential, they win it. Is that how you would see it?
Maybe not. I think Clare are going to have to perform above and beyond what they've done in the last couple of years. They're going to have to hurl like never before today if they are to take out Galway. And if they do, you'd say fair play to them. Galway have ticked so many boxes, but I think I put Clare in with a great shout today. I think their tactics is going to be important. I would feel, you know, we talk about the Dahi Burke John Conlon matchup. For me, I would like to change that up. I think Clare can't afford to have them cancel each other out because Conlon is too important.
Sure.
So if I was picking that team, I'd maybe shove in one of the livelier fellas in on Dahi Burke and maybe try move him around a little bit and try get something that way and try get Conlon out in the wing where he can win puck outs or something like that. It will be interesting to see what Clare come with here. Can they unsettle the Galway attack? Because Galway generally keep their 6 backs and 2 midfielders very, very tight to that square, and they don't let too many goals.
Very deep as well, especially Johnny Cohen. Like, so I expect Podge Collins to be coming out to meet Johnny Cohen.
I think Clare are going to need a goal or two today.
Podge will go midfield. There's no doubt about that. With 3 midfielders, David Reedy draw deep, and Tony Kelly will go all over the pitch. So Galway will still hold the 6 backs back. It's up to the Galway forwards to come out and do the donkey work really. But Galway are kind of used to this thing. So far, Michael, in the last year and a half, they've solved all these problems. So I expect them to do the same today.
All right. Well, a great crowd here at Croke Park today for this match. A massive crowd also expected tomorrow for the second semi-final between Cork and Limerick. It's a great, great weekend of hurling here at Croke Park. Now, if you would like to hear commentary on this match in Irish, the details are at rte.ie/sport. But here for us right now, it is Ger Canning and Brendan Cummins.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. So the teams have paraded around behind the Army #1 band. The fans are all packed in here, around about 50,000 in all. A very pleasant evening in Dublin. We can only imagine what it's been like in the hurling heartlands of Galway and Clare over the past 7 days. South Galway, East Clare, where the abiding sports passion, of course, is hurling, and where the various permutations and matchups have been debated at length. Well, the time is now at hand to put the many and varied theories to the test. The players just going through the last bit of limbering up here. Clare realise they are the outsiders. That's what Jerry O'Connor has been saying there in that interview just a moment ago. So good to have the members of the Defence Forces here, as Michael was saying, some 60 years after they began their wonderful work all over the world in so many different locations. But right now our focus is on this semi-final, the first to have taken place on a Saturday. 5 o'clock coming up. We're almost ready to go, but before all of that, our on the Vian. Saturday or Sunday, there is a great sense of occasion here, and Brendan Cummins is alongside me, the former Tipperary goalkeeper. Your thoughts at this stage, Brendan?
Well, look, obviously we're hoping that from a Clare point of view that they play a very tactical game. Donal Tuohy can't be bombing high balls down top of Road McInerney, but the important thing for Clare is not to let emotion get in the way of the first 5 minutes of this game. They try to keep their structure, play through the lines as best they can and stick to the game plan, but Galway will start at a savage pace.
Game's underway. It's Galway who won the toss. They've opted to play from right to left in the first half. So hitting that ball down towards Hill 16, that's got to be the tactic if they can win it. And winning that initially there was John Conlon trying to get it across here. Conlon getting onto it again, trying to go through here. What a start this would be. Still causing a few moments of danger in there for that Galway defence, and eventually rescuing Galway. Pouring Mannion getting the ball up onto his stick, trying to get it away. Players calling for it inside there. One of them, David Burke, the team captain, launching the first Galway attack. Clare there in numbers, batted back out this time by Jack Brown. Running out as far as Conor Cleary, into the hands of Brown again. Back it comes. Jamie Shanahan with that clearance into the middle of the park. It's cut out there, however, by Cathal Mannion. His brother was on the ball a little while ago up at the other end of the field, in as far as Conor Cooney, then trying to get that ball into the hands of Joe Canning. It's not going to be easy, and eventually Johnny Cohen tries to come moving through the centre of the field here onto the 45-metre line, looking for an opening, looking for space. Maybe it'll be Aidan Hart. It is. Cracking one, but putting it wide as well. Took a while.
Yeah, left tuned already. Jonathan Glynn has gone into the full forward line. You would expect that Galway early days would be trying to get that ball in there, but they showed good patience there, but just wide on the left.
First opportunity then for Donal Tuohy from Crusheen to get his first puck out away into the middle of the field. Not a good one. Taken there, one back well, and it's Joe Canning who knocks it straight over the bar. You can't afford to do that with Joe around. Very poor clearance by Donal Tuohy, that first restart by him, straight to the man you don't want to give it to.
You can see Joe Canning there, he held his ground, he could see out the corner of his eye that Kelly was coming and that Tuohy wanted to put it in front of him, waited the last second. Great experience, that man, your shot, and that's the finish of a team that have been All-Ireland champions looking to retain their title.
So a poor start by Clare, but now a much longer puck out this time, way down towards Peter Duggan. Doesn't get to it, however. One instead by Galway once again, and once more taking it out here is Gearóid McInerney. In towards Joe Canning, couldn't quite get to it this time. Fed forward, looking to try and take it here and put a bit of pressure on Daithí Burke was John Conlon once more. Conlon on his hands and knees, very near the near sideline, pinched there by Shane O'Donnell. O'Donnell has a player in support of him if he wants to give it out as far as Podge Collins. He was trying to, surrounded by Galway defenders. Here's Collins out over the sideline, and Sean Clear, the linesman here from Kilkenny on this near side, flag raised immediately, has a word there with Podge. Line ball to Galway.
Yeah, pressure there, the Galway backs, but there's only two Galway forwards in the Clare half of the pitch while this play is going on. They just want to push their physicality like a boxer leaning on a weaker boxer here, just making sure that Clare know that anytime they don't slip the ball away quickly, they're just going to take them off them with that physicality.
And Micheál Donoghue's team certainly is a very physically imposing one. That wasn't the greatest sideline cut we've ever seen taken. Might get another opportunity. Adrian Tuohy there put under pressure. A lot of pressure as well there on Aidan Hart, and eventually foul committed, so it's got to be a free in for Clare. Final man to pick himself off the ground was Podge Collins.
Yeah, that's what Clare will want to try to do, keep that ball rolling. The very minute it stops rolling, Galway can get big bodies around it. Use your speed and how nimble that Clare forward line are. It's a first pressure free now for Peter Duggan out on the sideline. I'm sure he would have preferred a little bit close to the goal for your first hit in Croke Park.
Peter Duggan, about a metre in from the near sideline, as you can see. Quite a bit of breeze swirling around Croke Park today, to judge by the flags, but the area in which he's in right now is quite shaded because of the very elevated stands. So let's see if he can measure this one and put the teams on turns. He can. Super score.
Yeah, it's been a feature of his play. A couple of mishaps in the Munster final, but that really sets him on the way now.
Right from the word go this season, he's been a very, very accomplished free taker. Watched him in a number of the early games. Took his time with most of those frees. Now he's hitting them very, very confidently. This time that puck out goes to Galway's Conor Cooney, but he can't take it. It's Peter Duggan instead. He goes back, works hard to try and win it, then leaves it behind. A couple of players coming in from Galway to try and get to it, and eventually James Owens from Wexford is going to throw the ball in.
And Clare as well, Ger, inside on the edge of their own D there. McInerney's in there. He stayed there as a sweeper. There's two, Mark and Jonathan Glynn. So Clare decided to sit a player back.
But now they move forward, and it's Colin Galvin who's trying to make some advances, but he takes too many steps with the ball without releasing it. Crowd didn't like it, but it's got to be a free for Galway. Good work, good pressure. Conor Cooney, one of those involved in doing the pressurising, forced Colin Galvin into the overholding.
Yeah, it's been a key of Galway's play all through last year and again this year, that in the middle third of the pitch, the amount of work rate from Cooney and his colleagues there, working their way back. See Joe Canning just before the start hit a couple of frees from this side, and his practice all went over the bar.
Yeah, exactly, on this line as well. This is, 85 metres from his target. Well, they worked in practice, as Brendan says. Let's see, in reality, they work in the game as well. And he's now got 2. Got 9 points, of course, here in last year's All-Ireland final.
Just he does it so often, Jerry, you can forget that he's 85 yards out from goal and the ball was still rising. There's no the bar.
Tui's third puck out, varying it again up towards top of the left this time, and it's a good one. Might run on there for Podge Collins, except that there were a number of defenders going across to read it. Boric Mannion, one of them, clipping it back into Adrian Tui. Then Tui composing himself before driving it down towards a 2-man inside forward line. Caught brilliantly by Conor Cooney. Has a chance to give the pass, doesn't need to do so. Confidently strikes it himself and puts it over the bar. He'll have been very, very disappointed to have been left out of the team the last day. But here, right now, he rose for that one, well above the man who's marking him, got away from him and put it beautifully over to make it 3-1.
Yeah, McInerney would be strong in the air, and Conor Cooney there in your shot will have it be in his bonnet, or the fact that he wants to make sure he's not looking over his shoulder. Tui now inside the line, looking, he's going to go to his wing back.
More variation. This time it's kept in play by Galway. They did really well in that to attack the ball before Shane O'Morey could get to it, and it's Cathal Mannion. Mannion inside, Glynn, whoa! It went wide near the corner flag.
I don't know if it'll come off Donald Toohey there, but certainly an opportunity, and this is the gun that Toohey's got to run, but you can see Mannion coming in along, lovely flick across. Jonathan Flynn was very agricultural, we'll call it, in the way he threw the ball up to hit it there. A smarter corner forward would have slipped him and struck it off the left rather than the right, but Toohey was smart off his line.
Well, he's had 4 puck outs so far. 2 of them put his team into real difficulty. They conceded a point on 1. This is a 5th, and this is much longer. Going deep into the half-forward line. Reedy getting onto it for the first time. Kept it in play. Taken to Kelly. His first touch as well. He needs to have a very, very big involvement, you would think. Conlon playing it back here into open space. Nobody there to collect it for him, however. And the ball is swept away down towards Joe Canning again. As a support player outside him, that is Joseph Cooney. Gets onto it here, 65 metres out from the target. Sweeping it left-sided. Up and... where has it gone? It's gone... they're not quite sure where it's gone. So they're going to Hawkeye.
Yeah, but again, this is going to be a feature of the game for Donald Toohey in there. He is going to have to go short, Jerry. He is going to have to take chances. His defenders, though, are just standing looking in at him. They need to give that little bit more movement for him. It allows the Galway forwards to track him an awful lot better, but this is an important one.
For Joseph Cooney and for Galway, yeah, you're right. It's just outside the post. Neil Shakadaha. It's one of the wide. 3 wides so far for Galway, but they've done most of the attacking. They lead by 3 points to 1. Early stages as David Reedy clips it forward here, but it gathers pace and nobody's able to get at the end of that. And there's a certain lack of cohesion between backs and forwards so far by Clare, but it's early stages.
There's the Clare defence too are a little bit confused. The Galway forwards are rotating all the time. They have a spare man 1 second. The next minute there's a guy pointing the line to say pick him up.
James Skehill drops it way, way down there towards Johnny Glynn. Marking him there is Pat O'Connor. O'Connor on the deck. Fouled. Free to Clare. Should be an intriguing battle, that one, if Patrick O'Connor is going to mark Jonathan Glynn for the afternoon. He's picking him up right now because Glynn, of course, started the match in there in that inside forward line.
It's very safe in possession there. You see Pat O'Connor again, and the speed of puck again from Clare, but it's just intercepted again.
Kelly couldn't take it. Conor Cooney could for Galway. Should have scored. wasted opportunity, big waste that one.
Yeah, it's exactly the way Clare need to play. We just need to settle down a little bit. Like, we're 10 minutes in, we're short again.
Oh, a terrible one, intended for Shane O'Morey, but picked up instead by Conor Whelan, and he can make them pay for it, and he does. Already we can see that Donald Toohey and Clare are in trouble with the puckouts.
Yeah, there's one of the mentors down there having a chat with him. And to be fair to Donald Toohey, if he gives a short puck out here, you can see the man calling for it. But if you plant your 2 feet in Croke Park and don't attack the ball, the likes of Conor Cooney and Conor Whelan will come in and take it off of you, and that's what's happened. They need more movement.
Galway would appear from the flags here have certainly got the aid of the breeze for the opening 35 minutes, and they're making a fair bit of use of it so far. David Burke in the thick of it there. Finally the stalemate coming towards Daithí Burke. Eventually managed to get that ball away, and it's cleared away out of danger by Joe Canning, trying to set up the next attack. That ball not contained, however, by Cathal Mannion. Instead it's David McInerney cleverly using it into Conor Cleary, swept into the middle here this time, away by Cathal Malone, all the way up there towards Shane O'Donnell, couldn't hold on to it. Podge Collins came in rather tenaciously, couldn't take it. It's Padraig Mannion instead. That greater sharpness and edge has been demonstrated by Galway in the early minutes, but there's a long, long way to go as Johnny Cohen looks at that one admiringly, and why not? Another one. 4th point in a row for Galway. 5-1 they lead.
As this floats over the bar, you can see in your screen the confusion that Clare have. There's 1-2 Clare defenders on their own 45 looking out at Johnny Cohen. Galway have a way of playing through the middle third. They take their full forward line out of the game, so the conundrum is, do Clare follow him out? At the moment they're not sure.
Tony Kelly trying to win possession here. He's got to get involved in this game, and he's got to demonstrate what he can do. Instead it's Galway who are bossing many of the exchanges. Physically tough men. Clare need to win this next ball. Don't do so. Joe Canning managed to get it away. Peter Duggan unable to hold on to it. Lots of uncertainty, and eventually Duggan does manage to pick it up with his hand, but look at the difficulty he's having just trying to get the ball away. Joe Canning eventually all the way down to Glynn. Johnny Glynn across here to Mannion. First touch not good enough. Cathal Mannion can get it again, however. He gets nobody on him. He's got a chance now to settle his feet, pick out his angle and take his score almost with ease. Yeah, everybody in the inside forward line has now scored from play, Brendan.
They have, and there's that out ball for Johnny Glynn. He gets the defender on his left shoulder, catches with his right. Clare have to work out now, Gerald, whether they're actually going to follow Galway all over the pitch or whether they're going to keep the structure. We're going short again. It's work this time.
They're 6-1 down. They need to get the next attack going. Colm Galvin held on to here by Peter Duggan, strikes it in well, but not with the necessary level of accuracy. It's their second wide.
Yeah, Clare will need a score or a few passes put together. You can see it, Jerry O'Connor there in your shot. He's looking to get his team to show a little bit more composure.
Peter Duggan here trying to win this ball against Conor Whelan. Digs in, tries to hold off his man somehow. Help there by Jack Brown, who came way out, but it reaches Johnny Cohen eventually, well blocked down by Galvin. Finally went off a Galway player, went off Joe Canning. It's gone for a sideline cut. Clare's ball. Joe having a quick look around there, wondering who got the last touch. It was himself, I think. Sideline ball which Peter Duggan will take. Got that superb goal in the Munster final against Cork. That day Clare had a great first half, for most of the time anyway, bar the last 5 minutes maybe. Second half, however, wasn't so great. This time they'll be hoping that a poor start can be turned into a much better finish. That's one again by Galway. Adrian Toohey coming out of it. O'Donnell goes chasing after him. Back it comes, back as far as Cathal Mannion. Mannion looking at his work, looking at the shot and seeing where it ended up, which wasn't where he intended.
No, now the Clare position, Colm Galvin on their own 45. He's pointing at all his colleagues to push up now and push out. He's had a word from the Clare bench, so he's trying to get the defence better structured.
To Jack Brown it comes this time. Stealing a march here on Whelan. Back in as far as Conor Cleary. Needs to get Clare going. 6-1 down. Podge Collins. After him goes Toohey, trying to steal the ball away. Podge Collins has it again. 3 men after him. Playing the ball in here towards Tony Kelly. Looks for a player on his immediate outside. A support player waiting out there for it. and that ball's driven badly. Really bad final effort there. Should have been able to do a great deal better, Jamie Shanahan. Puck out by Galway, securely into the hands of Pádraig Mannion. Making a lot of headway. Driven in towards Johnny Glynn. Able to hold on? No, not quite. Dropped it. Look at the number of Clare backs. Oh, they've left it behind, and there's a goal! And it's Conor Cooney who's got it. A very bad day so far for the Clare full back line. They're absolutely dithering when that ball went in towards Johnny Glynn. Look at the number they had around there. They couldn't get it away, and in came Conor Cooney to get his 9th ever championship goal.
Yeah, there's Colm Galvin inside the edge of the square. His job was to try to sweep up these balls. They were pushed out of the way. The real rabbit caught in the headlight stuff here for Clare. They need to get their feet in this game very, very quickly, because Galway have their number around the middle third and it's killing their inside line.
Clare are being brushed aside by the strongly built Galway men, looking very assured, very confident, very dominant, illustrated by Joe Canning knocking it over. He was the hero of the hour this time last year against Tipperary with that last-minute point to win it then. But right now, he's cruised Galway into a 1-7, 1-point lead, 16 minutes in.
He has, yeah, and Galway are showing now they're flexing their muscle, Ireland champions. They're showing, I suppose, the confidence that they have. Clare really do need to start following men all over the pitch. Go man for man, you might as well. You're 9 points down at this stage.
Shane Murray inside as far as Tony Kelly. Up into the air it's come. The umpires bend their backs to try and see where the flight of the ball has gone, and it's gone wide.
And as you look out onto the pitch there, Colm Galvin is playing inside his own 45, but he's 50 yards too far up the pitch, and the danger men, which is Jonathan Glynn and Joseph Conor Cooney inside. So just too many Clare players caught in no man's land at the moment. They're not getting involved in the game, Ger.
They haven't got the tactics right so far, Brendan. Joe Canning. Up into the air again, down towards Glynn. Again, Sticks raising up for it there. Clare Sticks. McInerney lost his. Referee blows his whistle, decides that there was a foul, and it's going to be a free out, and they'll be very, very grateful for that.
They will, but the other side too, if you think back to the Munster final, you see the ball coming in here. McInerney, he's lost the Hurley. It's all very, very... Here comes the shot in for the goal. Again, there's nobody taking control of the situation inside there. And Cooney, of course, says, I'll take control of it, and one happy Galway man and the Clare supporters are sitting down. They need a little bit more communication, and they also need more work rate. It's not just a structural thing going on here either, Gerard. The forwards need to work harder.
Right now they've got the opportunity to work hard. David Reedy watching. Podge Collins in there as well as John Conlon. He's touched the ball at the very, very beginning of the game, not much more since then. David Reedy, they need a score. Reedy, can he be the provider? He can. That's one they needed. A long, long way to go. 13 minutes between scores.
It is, but David Reedy there, you know, did really well. He composed himself and made dead sure that he was going to go over the bar.
Relatively easy opening for the match for James Skehill, the goalkeeper from Capatagal. Down to right half forward this time. He can hit it anywhere because it seems that Galway players are lording it over their immediate opponents. So David Burke didn't come up from immediately, and then back went Galvin, to his credit, won it, beat the attempted block, got it out as far as Tony Kelly. Kelly now hand passing it forward. Incrementally they've got to try and work their way through the lead that Galway are enjoying at this stage and pin them back. This is just a very, very good spell for Galway. Clare must be hoping that at some stage or other they will drop their intensity levels. Jack Brown lost his Hurley, needs the support there of Pat O'Connor. Across here as far as Colm Galvin. He's meant to be midfield. He's back on his own 20-metre line. He's like the extra sweeper back there.
He is. He's taking up the sweeper role for Clare.
Moving forward here was O'Donnell, stopped in his tracks. Then the next challenge comes in with Cathal Malone, the number 9 there in the middle of it all, trying to win possession for Clare. But it's a strongly built Gearóid McInerney, not giving away an inch at this stage. We're waiting for a whistle to come. Maybe the referee might have blown up and throw the ball in, but it works in Galway's favour, and Cathal Mannion is able to get that ball away on stick. Podge Collins after him, but again the elegant Cathal Malone swings on it. 1 against 2 back there. The 2, including Colm Galvin, needing to get that ball back and putting the pressure on the other man back there supporting him, Pat O'Connor. Won't thank him for that pass. In came Galway immediately. They've got a wonderful appetite for this game, Galway. They look ravenously hungry to beat Clare, to get back into the All-Ireland final once again. Their approach has been excellent so far. What's the response from Clare? Shane O'Donnell needs to get them firing. That'll do for starters.
That's some score, Jared. Unbelievable score. And the ball came down along the wing there. There's wicked pressure on him just before that passage of play. He caught the ball with his left hand while he was sliding into it. You know, it's things like that. See that? That's an unbelievable catch. The pressure that he's under there from his marker, John Hanbury.
7 points between them. Clare win it back again. This time it's Shane O'Morey. Slipping it forward to Kelly. Goes forward now. After him goes Johnny Glynn. Kelly still to his right-hand side. Coming up with his David Reedy. Reedy trying to get inside the wing back. Made a lot of headway. Finally went off. The referee's given the free. Got to be a 20-metre free. Porrick Mannion, to his credit, pursued him vigorously. But the referee, I think, saw a foul there as well. Yeah, there's the foul. And the referee was absolutely spot on.
Yeah,
20-metre free.
Yeah, he had the arm raised. You can see the arm on the shoulder there. But that's a lot more like what Clare need to be doing. They need to get the ball low into Reedy so he can turn and run at this Galway defence and see what happens. But just off camera there was a shot of, I think what's Clare's problem here, Ger. Conor Cleary is staying at centre-back, even though Colm Galvin is playing the sweeper. So they're conceding 2 extra bodies, 60, 70 yards in their own goals, and allowing Galway to build, and they can't get a platform to play.
Peter Duggan has just got his second point. The lead was 9, and now it's down to 6. Well, what you say is absolutely, totally correct. And I wonder whether Clare are going to adjust the way in which their defence is shaped up at this stage. The structure isn't quite right. Down through the middle, this comes again. Shane O'Morey under pressure. Reaches up for it, catches it well. Under pressure still. Duggan swinging on it, but rather indiscriminately, giving it away to Joe Canning. Over his left shoulder, up into the air it goes. God directed. And this time the Lord has decided it's gone to the left.
Yeah, but at least at that passage of play, Conor Cleary was on him. If that was Joe playing 10-15 yards further out the pitch, he'd have got a free strike on it. So it's a lesson to show that they are human, Galway, obviously. You need to put them under pressure.
But they've had just this wonderful start to the game, unbelievably successful in the opening 20 minutes. Now Clare need to get a spell of dominance, but where are they going to get it from? Johnny Cohen, back in again. Touched on there by Conor Whelan, collected there by Colm Galvin once more. Beautifully into the hands of Tony Kelly, over his right shoulder and over the bar as well. I think that's on its way. Yeah. Kelly's first.
That's it, the old Colm Galvin and Tony Kelly 1-2 there. It was a fantastic pass, and that's what Galvin will do. If everybody else marks their man inside in that Clare defence, Galvin will start to pick the holes and Kelly will make the runs. Here Galway going short now, Ger.
The lead is back down to 5. Early stages in this match, still playing the opening third really. Referee with words for Joe Canning and for Conor Cleary, his marker.
Yeah, they had a tangle just off the ball after the last passage of play. But there's no harm that Conor Cleary is getting that tight now to Joe Canning. For the first 20 minutes of this game or so, he had a freedom at Croke Park once he went outside to Clare 65.
Skehill's puck out, looking for Cathal Mannion. Stumbling to get that ball initially, then hitting it on the ground. Down into open space comes Colm Galvin. And shouldered there by Conor Whelan. Toughly built man, strongly built man, Conor Whelan, just 21 years of age. 20th championship match today.
Yeah, he went 40 yards there to close down Colm Galvin. Clare people in the crowd will say it was into the back, but
could be just a little bit.
It is, but the way modern hurling has gone now anyway, unless you keep that ball moving down near to the sideline, you'll go out over. Chance for Joe now.
He's got 3 so far. First sideline cut for him, rising nicely but not with the accuracy he was looking for there. So another one has gone past the posts, and it's 7 wides now by Galway. 1-7 they've scored so far.
It's fair to Donald Toohey now, Jerry. He's looking down the pitch and all of his forwards are just looking in at him. There's very, very little movement.
Not a great deal scored by Galway for the last 8 minutes. In as far as Colm Galvin now. Into space, but there's nobody there at left corner forward to take that ball. Shane O'Donnell had drifted in towards full forward at that stage. They basically had they have a 3-man inside forward line, but Podge is inclined to go back towards the 40 the 45-metre line.
Yeah, he has to mirror what Galway are doing up the other end. Galway are only playing with 2 full forwards, and Clare have spotted that now, and at last they put an extra body around the middle third. In the last 5 minutes we've seen a change and a bit of momentum, getting more ball.
Pádraig Mannion hitting it really well. Cleary reaching out with the right hand. Into it came Patrick O'Connor. Lost his stick once again. Plenty of pressure being applied. Jack Brown goes back. Give it in there to Tony Kelly. Keeping it moving across here towards David McInerney from Tulla. Into open space, but there are so many Galway players there ready to mop it up and just begin the counter-offensive immediately. Driven way down towards Conor Cooney, the man who got the goal after 15 minutes. He's on the ground appealing to the referee, who says, go on, play on. They have to do so, and Clare is certainly doing so. Shane Amori back into the inside forward line. Once again it comes in there towards John Conlon. So much was expected from him. There were so many worries about Daithí Burke, but Daithí Burke's had a very easy time of it so far, and it's away by Pádraig Mannion for Galway once again. Into open space, nobody there in a maroon shirt immediately. Shane Amori able to come to take, to hit it forward towards Podge Collins again, being marked there by Adrian Toohey. Very competitive, very tough corner back. Johnny Cohen, beautiful pass in as far as Conor Cooney. Slipped back once again, this time as far as Aidan Hart. Had a shot earlier on. This one is... where is it? Again, the umpires aren't sure. Wonders the sun in the eyes.
I don't know, it must be something in the eyes down there, but again, that little passage of play there, Jared, just showed that the Clare defence stand back, let Galway come up the field, create the overlap, and the wing back gets a shot on goal. Hart really should have caught this one. There shouldn't have been any doubt in it.
Well, let's see. Was Aidan Hart's point a good one or a bad one? It's against the post. That looked like a kneel. Yeah. Another one that technology has ruled out. Not much in it, but it doesn't count.
It's a lift for Clare. Now, it's important too for clearing this puck out that Chewy can walk through Colm Galvin. He's the spare man in that defence.
Well, there hasn't been a score for Galway now since the 15th, 16th minute. So 10 minutes has gone without a score for the men in the maroon who've been dominating the match. Almost in that time was Peter Duggan. Stopped in his tracks, however. Daithí Burke managing to get it out towards Aidan Hart. Hart having difficulty, but managed to do enough to get it away. Garrod McInerney in some difficulty, needing support. Adrian Toohey trying to flick it out towards Joseph Cooney, winning it back, however, is Tony Kelly. He scored once already. They'd allow another one, and I think, no, he hasn't got it. Close, but not quite close enough for Tony Kelly. Margin is still 5 points. Scoring has dropped. Johnny Cohen picking it up here. Down towards Conor Whelan, couldn't hold on to it. His marker, Jack Brown, making certain that he's got it. Back to the support player, who's Colm Galvin. Toohey comes to try and collect this one and does make it. Back out again. Diagonally across here towards Joseph Cooney. Was there a push in the back? The referee says no. Shane Amori, the one on the ground. Colm Galvin getting it away. Out as far as Tony Kelly. Kelly this time's decided to heck with it. I'm going to have a go from about 70 metres out, and he's put it over the bar. He's got that kind of confidence, that kind of self-belief that few have, playing the game at this very high level, and the margin is down to 4.
He is, and he's playing a more withdrawn role.
5 points in a row for Clare before this shot comes in and produces a score for Galway, which they have needed. It's by Cathal Mannion. It's his second after Galway had gone some 12 minutes without a point.
Yes, again, it's something familiar seeing with Mannion, but Kelly's influence is greater now. He's withdrawn back around the middle of the field.
Suddenly Clare have a little bit more belief and a bit more passion in the way in which they're going about their job. But still very much up against it, against the All-Ireland champions from last year. John Hanbury. Down here towards Conor Whelan, rolling it up onto the stick this time, getting out ahead of Jack Brown. Brown goes after him, can't catch him. Almost a nothing angle from Whelan's point of view, and he couldn't quite make it. Always very, very willing, a real daring kind of player. Takes risks, has a go, always anticipates. Jamie Shanahan back up into the Clare forward line once again, where Peter Duggan has come onto it. Out here as far as John Conlon, lost his footing, but taken down as well. So it's got to be a free in. Chance of a score for Clare.
That's the key as well for Clare, Jerry. You can see Peter Duggan running onto that ball, running straight at the heart of the Galway defence. can see there that Dahi Burke's ankle looks fairly all right the way he planted it, and got full strength behind getting Peter Duggan. But Donald Tuohy now is getting the puck out away an awful lot faster, because Clare have 7 defenders against 5 Galway forwards, so they're able to get puck out away, and their movement's a lot better, which gives them now a platform to play, so they're getting back into it point by point.
A word to Tony Kelly from Jerry O'Connor. Peter Duggan has got 2 points so far.
I'm sure he's just telling Tony Kelly, you keep playing around our half-back line and keep running the ball through the line.
Well, it's been working, especially in the last 10 minutes. So 1-8 to 7 points. Galway the leaders. That all-important goal scored by Conor Cooney. In truth, the ball should have been cleared once or twice. There were so many backs there. James Skehill pucking it out. Down through the centre towards Joe Canning. Runs on towards Johnny Glynn. Nobody able to take it. Glynn eventually gets a fortunate bounce. It comes back to him. Hand passing it forward. Once more, it's Colin Galvin is doing very, very effectively as a sweeper back there. This time, however, as I say it, ball is picked up by Cathal Mannion. Able to play it back, intended for Joe Canning, out over the sideline instead. And it'll be a line ball for Clare.
It's not a new role for Colin Galvin. Remember the Munster final a couple of years ago? Cleary followed Conor Lehane around the pitch, and Galvin sat the time of Cahalan taking all the short puck out. He is used to it. He's a fine hurler, and the players around him are starting to pick up their men. Tony Kelly's having a bigger influence playing around the middle. So all that together has meant that Clare are back in the hunt.
Kelly taking this sideline cut himself. Flies forward there towards John Conlon. Conlon challenged by Dahi Burke, and the referee again blows his whistle, and it's going to be a free in and another free to Clare. Dahi Burke put under pressure that time.
He appeared to get a flick on the ball there, but maybe it's that pull back there is what the referee. He got the Hurley in with the left hand to flick the ball away. But Conlon, when he's moving towards goal, he's momentum, he's always a threat. He's starting to see a lot more ball now as well, which is helping, as I said, this Clare revival.
You and I were hearing so many rumours about Dahi Burke's well-being in the build-up to this. I mean, his leg was supposed to be hanging off.
It was, but I say the same man, if it was hanging off, he'd work all right with one leg.
Sure would.
He's a tough nut.
Peter Duggan's free, no problem. He's got 4. Bit by bit, Clare are getting themselves back into the match again. And now, where once they were 9 behind, they're now just 3 adrift. As you can see, just over 3 minutes to go to half-time. Poor puck out this time by James Skehill. Straight to Peter Duggan. Up towards Podge Collins. Difficult one for him to take, especially with the presence of Garrod McInerney there. Joe Canning keeping it in play. Yeah, he kept it in play. Donald Maloney on this near side was indicating that one of the Clare joint managers it was out, but I don't think it was. Joe Canning has it once again over his left shoulder, and that customary easy, relaxed style of his. Are they going to Hawkeye again?
For me, I
thought that was over.
Yeah, I think that was over that time. It has to be the sun or something with those umpires down there. But you can see the pressure that Clare are putting on James Skehill now on the puck out as well. But Jonathan Glynn's strength has given an addition to Galway there. Sucked in 3 players, and it's wide.
Oh, it is wide.
Everything is going in Clare's favour at the moment now, Jar. You know they need to make hay with this with 3 or 4 minutes to half-time.
That's 10 wides, Brendan. 10 wides. 1-8 to 8 points. Donald Tuohy, after a poor start, straight through the centre this time, towards Peter Duggan. Duggan has it. Took 2 goals to get it. Fires it in and fires it over. His first point to come from open play, his 5th of the day. And now, look at this. It's 1-8 to 9 points.
Come in the blind side of Johnny Cohen there. Big, strong man. And again, holds that Hurley short through the middle. There's a nice flick.
Well, now who's going to take a big advantage into the half-time break with them? Galway hoping it'll be them. Johnny Cohen stretching that ball across the field. Too many Clare players over there waiting for it. A little bit of hesitation by Jamie Shanahan before he regained his wits and got it as far as Pat O'Connor. Straight through the centre for Clare towards Podge Collins. Been marked there by Adrian Tuohy from Baha. Gives it out as far as Aidan Hart. Hart withstanding 2 challenges. A foul as well committed. A little further back, and the referee for an earlier foul giving the free to Galway.
There's a great catch there, and Podge just holding on to the Hurley as he fell. There's to James Owens. He gave him the opportunity to see, but Galway now at this stage, if you're Micheál Donoghue down there, you're starting to say to yourself, well, look, what are we going to do now? You know, Clare were all over the place. They handed us a few scores. Now they've gotten into the groove. How are we going to break out of it?
It'll be David Burke from St Thomas's, the captain, who will take this inside his own 45-metre line. Shadow of the stand, of the Hogan stand, lengthening across towards Cathal Mannion. 2 minutes of additional time will be played. Mannion steadying himself and looks very assured, and there's no need for any Hawkeye this time. He's got a third, and he's going to take a little bit tighter marking than has been the case up to now.
Yeah, a great score there. In fairness, one that Galway would need to settle down after having so many wides. Just put the ball down on top of Peter Duggan is what I'd be shouting to Donald Dewey now.
And that's what he's exactly going to do. And here's Peter Duggan who's got it. Flicked away by Garroyd McInerney into the middle of the park. Once again, it's Joseph Cooney getting a possession, and Joseph hits it with everything that he's got except the accuracy he was looking for. And that makes it wide number 11. Real cause for concern now for Micheál Donoghue heading in. That's the catch there just a moment ago, which led to the score for Peter Duggan, his 5th. Next puck out, beyond Cathal Malone, into Duggan again. He's playing a great match. Inside to Podge Collins. Kelly trying to take it, put in the stick, didn't get it the first time, then goes in after it himself, surrounded by Galway players. Coming out with it in the end is Garroyd McInerney. Hand passed out by Joe Canning as far as David Burke. Burke swinging on this one, 50 metres out. The umpires go back, sun in their eyes, but they see that this one has gone well and truly to the left.
I tell you, Jerry, you'd be saying that Galway could rue these wides. They're all looking at each other out there, all trying to be the ones to turn it, and all the time Clare just keep working the ball out.
Jack Brown striking it long to the 13-metre line. O'Donnell trying to touch it down to Podge Collins. Galway should have this under control, and it's Daithí Burke who has it. Away with Garroyd McInerney. Out to Joseph Cooney. In as far as Johnny Cohen. Cohen down towards Johnny Glynn. Galway looking for a big finish to the half. Can't get to this one. Colm Galvin can instead. Having a marvellous game since he moved back into that position, shielding and covering that full back line, which has been needed. Tony Kelly driving it forward. It's going left. Can they keep it in? They can. John Conlon trying to win that one against Daithí Burke. Plenty of Galway players there who should be able to deal with it. Finally prodded out there towards Pádraig Mannion, and Mannion gets it onto the stick and gets going once again. Deep into stoppage time, a few more seconds left. Galway maybe with the last shot of this first half. Can they score from it? Big one hit there by Cathal Mannion into the 20-metre line to Glynn, and Glynn strikes it and puts this one over the bar. Last point of the first half, I'm certain, by Jonathan Glynn, and Galway lead this match by 4 points. Well, it was Galway who started the game as though they meant business and wanted to dispose of the Clare challenge as quickly as possible. Micheál Donoghue's team got off to a very good start, and a goal by Conor Cooney after 16 minutes. But to their credit, Clare have come back very strongly. We've seen Colm Galvin go into a sweeper role. We've seen Duggan take control up front. And at the break, it's Clare 9 points. It's Galway 110. We'll have plenty to say once we come back after this break.
Half-time in this All-Ireland hurling semi-final at the moment. It is Galway who lead Clare by 1 goal and 10 points to 9 points. In front of an attendance, by the way, of 54,191. Those are the stats from the first half. One stat, those are the scoring stats, obviously, from the first half, is Galway have had 12 wides. Clare have had 5. That's significant. What do we make of it so far, Cyril?
Yeah, great start by Galway. Look, they got the perfect start, got a few points. Conor Cooney got a great goal after 60 minutes. Now, a lot of the Galway scores probably came from Clare mistakes, but still were scores, and Galway seemed to be cruising. But fair play to Clare, came right back into it. Tony Kelly got some fantastic scores. Peter Duggan started to win the puck out and came right back into it. And even though they're 4 down at half-time, Clare will be quite, I'm not saying happy, but they'll be satisfied that they came back into it. Micheál Donoghue won't be happy, because at halfway through the first half, Galway in the driver's seat, didn't drive on. Much the same like in the match like against Kilkenny, kind of a bit complacent. complacent. It's complacent. But to be fair, Tony Kelly, Peter Duggan, these guys, and Colin Galvin has fell in behind the half back line, came deep back to cover the Clare backs, and it's kind of working to a certain extent. But Galway still have the scoring power up front. But they've been quite in spots, but they're in 4 up, but they'll have to drive on.
What do Clare people think about it?
Well, Michael, I would say, we listened to Jerry O'Connor beforehand and he told us how relaxed they were in the dressing room, and by God, they were overly relaxed for 17 and a half minutes. 1 point on the board and just nothing happening. The amount of simple pickups being missed. And there's been a tendency in this Clare team this year to lull for 7-8 minutes. But if you told me they were going to lull for the first 17 and a half, I'd say we'd be gone home. But they're after fighting their way back. Due credit to them now. Maybe Galway did lull a little bit and think this is going to be easy. But in fairness to Kelly, things weren't happening for him early, but he started to get on the ball. Searle said that Duggan is starting to win high ball, got a fantastic score near the end. Colm Galvin going back, and that's put a structure in place. Now, he hasn't used the ball quite as effectively as I would have liked, but he has given us that cover in front of those danger men up front for Galway.
On top of that, as well, I said, Galway have 12 wides, and that's the trouble. Like from good scoring positions, and that
they say, Eddie, sometimes about matches, it was a game of 2 halves. This was a half of 2 lulls, I think.
Yeah, it definitely was. You'd have to say, I think I'd go along with Dalo. I think the Clare even looked very nervous. Even there was several times their touch let them down, and you say maybe that's being over relaxed or whatever. But I just was looking at it there, and as Dalo said, from about 15 minutes, Clare roared back in and outscored Galway 9 points to 2 for the next 20 minutes. So you'd say, and take out, I make it anyway, 1-3 that they've coughed up through mistakes. So like they're huge things. When this match might go down to the wire, you say...
The last 2 points are crucial as well, Eddie. Had it down to 2.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a great way to go in at half-time. If you'd gone in at 2 points down, you say, after being 1-7 to no points to a point down, you'd say, we'll take that, and it's a springboard.
Sir, let's look at that start that Galway made, because they were impressive in that first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and the same against Kilkenny the last time. The same. Here's this guy's probably having the game of the year so far. Lovely little pass out to Tui. High ball coming in here. Again, they have a big dominance here. Well caught here by Conor Cooney. Dropped the last time. By God, he's trying out to prove a point today over the bar. Very good player. Himself and Johnny Lane are strong up front. This is Mannion again. The ball again, as the boys said, he shouldn't have got that ball really. But again, another little flick across here. Another little lovely pass here. This is Johnny Cohen breaking through and off his left over the bar. And at this stage, the shots from outside like were going over. Like, and Galway well on top, and you couldn't blame him for shooting. Here's the ball that Clare should have, again, it was a good puck out and missed it. And now the goalie probably blamed it. Comes back here. Here's Joe Cannon onto his left side, left to right, over the bar. So like, there's nothing they can do. And there's Mannion again driving forward. Little pop pass here. Another look up here. I think this is brother Cahill. And like, another great score from outside. But the only thing is that on top of that, here's Johnny Lynn catching this and over the bar. But like, again, on top of that, they've missed 12 from outside, from nice scoring positions. We're under a bit of pressure, some of them, but not more than not. So I hope it doesn't come back that they'll rue all these misses.
Colm Mannion getting too much space. Of the one guy up front getting too, everyone else very tight on their men. Jack Brown, Conor Cleary, good and tight. I think he's just getting that bit too much space.
We want to have a look at the Galway goal, but we want to do this, lads, in the context of a point you want to make about the Clare puckouts.
Yeah, we're looking at them there, that there was a couple of them there where they set up and they had options. And again, I think the options were a tiny bit static, but what I noticed out there was that David Burke and Johnny Cohen are not budging off that line there. No matter what Clare options are available, them two boys are holding on their own 65 with the hurls up. And you'd say, look, Clare had an option out to the left. Galway turn it over and punish it. A few minutes later, again, he has another option out on the sideline. He has a little bit of space. But Galway, to be fair to him, are very tuned into this.
Yeah.
And they zone in on it very quick. And I thought at this stage of the match, Galway's power was really kicking in. They were absolutely savaging him. And again, look, we see our two friends up there in the middle. There's a bit of space out to the side, and
it's a tight option, though, isn't it?
It is. It's a tight option here, and when you play this kind of a precision game, they have to stick. They have to be straight into the hands. And in fairness, Galway are all over that. Their half-forward line of midfielders work very well, and Joe slips it over. So that was kind of the nervy, poor puck-outs from Clare.
Yeah, and it's not, say, here's the contrast then, like Skehill just picks out Mannion, perfect ball, you know, he's in the bit of space, delivers long, Johnny Glynn gets up, ball breaks, Clare don't deal with it properly, and breaks to Cooney and back in the net. And I mean, that's the difference between the teams. It's not so much, I don't think, that Donald Tuohy has made huge mistakes. One of them, I think early, he hit too short that Tony Kelly had moved for and Joe Canning intercepted.
But you even look at that
It's
one
been
there.
mistakes from the first touch, really.
Yeah, we'll look at Pat O'Connor on that. I think sometimes you look at Galway, there's a leg or something goes in over that ball, it's killed stone dead.
Probably been from
and that's maybe the trait
being
of
champions as well, of course.
Yeah.
And
the bit of know-how.
that helps a
But
bit.
then as the half went on, to be fair to Clare, as the half went on, these mistakes went out of their game and they thundered back into it. So now it's anyone's game at this
I think
point.
the loose man was all over the place, and since Galvin has gone in there, he has probably steadied it.
It is anyone's game, and we're going to be back with this after this break. Welcome back again. A reminder of the half-time scoreline in this hurling semi-final. Galway leading Clare by 1 goal and 10 points to 9 points. Galway are back out on the pitch. They are waiting for Clare to resume. Cyril was saying before the break there that he doesn't know who's going to win this one, or it's anybody's game, maybe is more the point that he was making, Eddie. Have you any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think if Clare are going to kick on now and drive on, they definitely have to get the noses out in front fairly quick and get motoring, get kind of consistently motoring. I think if they hit a lull, if they don't open up a little bit of a lead, it's going to be difficult for them, because in fairness to Galway, they have a mental strength and a mental fortitude. They're able to kind of deal with anything, and they'll find their purple patch, they'll figure it out. Whereas it may ask a little question of them if they were to find themselves 3, 4, 5 points down maybe. And I know that you said that's asking a lot, but at the same time in a game that's going to be tight, if Clare could, but I think Clare are going to need a goal as well like if they could get their noses parity or close to it, and then get the momentum, get the Clare crowd behind them.
Spoken truly like Eddie Brennan, we need a goal.
What Galway have to do though, Michael, really is they're 4 up. They have to kick on, go 5 to 6 up, and cut down the missed chances. They got 12, the 12 wides, they were good chances. If they got even 6 of them, say half of them, they'd be nearly out of sight. That's what they have to do, really.
That's what they have to do, and unfortunately, the whole thing about it is you don't put missed chances up on the scoreboard.
No.
But Anthony, you were saying at half-time to me that if Clare get another lull, they're done.
They're done, Michael. We're after getting away with murder. I mean, going into injury time in the first half, we were only 2 points down. It was 1-7 to a point. I mean, this game, I was saying this is going to be the longest.
It looked as if,
I don't like this thing now, Michael, either, leaving the other team out there.
Well, Micheál Donoghue's taking the opportunity for yet another team club.
I know, and I just don't like it though, because I think it kind of, the officials don't like it, number one. They're ready to go, and I don't think it serves a great purpose.
Joe is getting on to
If the Galway midfielders are cute, Michael, which they should be, they'll be chatting with the referee and saying, listen, where are the boys? That's, you know what I mean, get them on
But
your side.
it's a small little thing, and it could be like the one thing what you don't want to do is have the ref come looking for you.
Well, on that note, Eddie, I gather the referee has gone in 3 times now to get them out.
That's not good.
Why do you need this time?
I think they should disqualify them.
Yeah, but what if
well, you would.
But Michael, if Clare come out and win the match and say they did the right thing, they left Galway away.
There he is now coming out. Yeah. I think that what they do in Australian rules is when the 15 minutes are up,
coming back out again. He said, "Now I told you, lads."
But Michael, what they do is that when the 15 minutes are up, this siren goes off in your dressing room, and lights start flashing, and everything. My God, you want to get out of there, you know.
But that's like a hotel. The siren going off for a fire and no one moves. If someone turn off that goddamn thing, for God's sake.
But if they can't hear what they're saying, sir, you might as well let them out. But what's the point in it? I don't get the point.
It's something that I think you always try. Look, as a player, I think you try to keep the ref on side anyway. I'm not saying in any way James Owen's going to go out and that's going to influence it. But it might just mean that these lads come out here and come on, I'm ready to go, and it's just you're just kind of maybe just pinching them a little bit.
Game of inches. Why give away an inch?
It's just it's something that you'd have to say. And if you're a Galway, I think Cyril is right. I know if I was there, you'd be over to the ref and you'd be getting in his ear too and say, come on, this is ridiculous. How long are they going to do this?
I know it seems like forever kind of since Galway came out and Clare still have come out. It's actually 4 minutes at the moment. Now, I know that's still a fair gap, but however.
They had a bit of momentum coming into half-time, Michael. We saw some fantastic scores for half-time. Tony Kelly, 2 bombers. Peter Duggan, what a point he caught over Aidan Hart's head.
Interestingly, the crowd are beginning to get
the only thing is,
a lot of booing in the crowd. So
we've experienced this a few times, I have to say, and I said it was J-Lo was at. But no, I think sometimes this can often maybe G up a little bit. If you're out on the pitch and you're mad to get going, and you're saying these lads are afraid to come back out, any little
Michael, it's worth mentioning as well. Galway had a nice little breeze in the first half. No one mentioned the commentary. There's a nice breeze going into the Hill 16 end, but Clare will have it the second half.
I don't know if it counts much here, sir. Lots of pitches it does.
Clare players, I don't know if you can hear it on the ball back there, but they have been greeted by massive boos from the Galway crowd, obviously. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Let's go back to the commentary box to rejoin Ger and Brendan.
Thank you, Michael. How long did Clare keep Galway waiting? Only 5 minutes. No changes, by the way, on either team. Well, Clare must mean business if they have had all the words of wisdom, etc. to hear. And will they take it in? And what will Galway's response be?
The response is, Gerard, they put Shane Murray nearly back down the tunnel into the dressing room again. You can see it here, you know, Galway fired up. The lads touched on it, you know, you can wait inside, but you know, it's a little bit unsportsmanlike, I would say. You just get out there and play when you're supposed to be out there. But all that's done now, and Joe Kenny's got an opportunity.
Galway with 1-10 at the start of the second half. 1-9, by the way, from the first half, all from play. Clare have only conceded 2 frees, by the way, in the opening half of the game. So Joe Canning hitting this one, his second sideline cut. Is it inside? It is. Great start to the second half for Joe and for Galway.
Yeah, Galway straight away taking their chances. Interested to see what way they're going to set up. They've Aidan Hart now as a sweeper. They've mirrored Colm Galvin in this half, so they've had the chance to sort it out.
And Aidan Hart is down there around the D, watching this one right now as it goes all the way down towards John Conlon, and Conlon looking to make the perfect start to the second half. It's only his first point of the match. They needed to get him into it.
It did. It's good movement, Conlon, too. You know, he moves 10-15 yards left and right, knowing that Dahi Burke in the edge of the square is very hard to beat, so they put the ball into the side of him.
Well, they haven't been able to run the ball at Dahi Burke so far to test the ankle injury that he sustained. Garrod McInerney dropping in there towards Jonathan Glynn, touching it down to himself. Conor Whelan there waiting as well. You can see David McInerney saying the player is not making any attempt to play it, lying on the ball virtually. And in came referee James Owens to give the decision. He's going to throw the ball in on the 20-metre line. Galway trying to hold possession here with Conor Cooney. They tried to exert a little bit more pressure through Cathal Mannion. They got 3 points in the first half. Johnny Cohen now coming in, sharp enough angle, and that one has gone outside at the end of it all. Oops.
Yeah, there's AstroTurf down by the goals goal too. He just took a bit of a spin, anxious to get the ball out, and this is why.
Down towards Tony Kelly, who took it down beautifully. Don't know how he managed to do that, and again the challenges came in on him, wins the free.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for Galway. Clare will know that the Galway midfielders always sit back, and what happens then is you let Tony Kelly get the ball and he runs at your defenders like that, and then you've no other choice but to pull him down. And I think the management in Clare will have noticed, and that's why too he fell over himself behind the goals. Kelly's having more and more of an influence, playing in that corridor 10 yards up the pitch from the Galway midfielders. Be interested to see will Micheál Donohoe tell his players to push out on him, because you need to go man-to-man on that man if he gets into a flow.
Peter Duggan to try and reduce the lead to 3 points. He's cut it nicely, and that is his 6th point of the match. 5 of the 6 have been from frees. 111 to 10 points. Early stages of the second half. Fans all around the ground, 54,000 plus. Knocked down this time by Joseph Cooney to the waiting David Reedy, point scorer in the opening 35, in towards Shane O'Donnell, who's also got on the score. Peter Duggan trying to make some advances here, pursued there vigorously by John Hanbury. Again, a stalemate situation here, broken up eventually by John Conlon, getting an opportunity to swing this win over his left shoulder and somehow get it over the bar as well. He had very little of an angle that time. He was almost looking away from goal, but somehow managed to get the stick on it and get his 2nd point of the second half and bring the lead back down to 2.
Yeah, it hasn't taken Clare 17 minutes in this half to get going. Straight away they've cut the lead and continued on the good work they had at the end of the first half.
They were 2 points adrift of Galway as well, closing in at the end of the first half, but Galway got those last couple of scores. This time it's Jamie Shanahan sending it back down towards Shane O'Donnell, down at the goal where he got the goals against Cork 5 years ago in the All-Ireland final, and he's getting going here, and he's got his 2nd point of the match. And what a good run of scores this is by the Banner. The margin is down to the minimum.
It is a fantastic score, and Justin went over that bag. See Hanbury turning there in the middle of your shot in the 45, shouting across at Adrian Toohey, what are we going to do here? So Galway are slightly rattled.
Galway are going with the short puck out and carrying it out here through John Hanbury. driving it in towards the 20-metre line, in beyond that in fact. Jonathan Glynn was being fouled, and it's got to be a free in, and a chance for Galway to restore the 2-point advantage immediately.
Fair to Jonathan Glynn, he's been the go-to man for Galway really in the first and second half. A hard look at McInerney there, you can see his right arm, his hurley got caught over Glynn's shoulder, and a hurley up around the head there. You can see the referee directing it there is always going to be a free.
Niall Burke is about to make his entrance for Galway, so the first of the changes about to happen. Early stages of the second half, just 5 minutes in. Joe Canning, who put over that beautiful sideline just a moment ago here, has this free from just outside the 20. Would he think about it, do you think? Because he doesn't need to.
I wouldn't think so, but you never really know with Joe, but I doubt it.
No, he's putting it up and over. Happy enough to get his 5th point.
Yeah, but Galway do need that freshness that's going to come in. It's whether it's Conor or Joseph Cooney maybe are the ones that are going to be called ashore.
So Niall Burke will be the first man to come in just a moment, number 22.
And Galway have, or Clare have pushed up, or Galway pushed up on the Clare puck out as well.
As Donald Toohey knocks it across towards left half forward this time, where Peter Duggan had moved across. In here as well as Shane O'Donnell trying to take control of it, but away in the end by Adrian Toohey. Straight to the loose man back there for Clare, who is Colm Galvin, sticking to his role as sweeper. Out to Jamie Shanahan, swinging it across, intended in there for Conlon, one instead of the man who is now sweeping back there for Galway. That's Aidan Hart. Back in came Conlon again to put in a challenge. Peter Duggan tried to help him out. Duggan up onto the stick here. Over his shoulder again, firing in the shot, hoping for the very best, but this time hitting it to the left.
Now, to be fair to Peter Duggan, we saw it in the first half of Galway, a lot of wides were wide on that left-hand side. There is a breeze cutting across where the stand finishes, and it's blowing those balls away to the left.
Yeah, each one of those, as you say, is going to the left-hand side of the goalpost time and again, and we're thinking it is the breeze. That's hit there towards Conor Whelan. Can't get to it. Instead, Jack Brown trying to force it out, using his boot this time towards Podge Collins, and eventually on the ground there is Shanna Morley. The referee blows his whistle, gives the free into Clare, and an opportunity for them once again to try and get another score.
And that's the big difference there too. I mean, the first half Shane Morley wasn't inside the Galway half of the field, engaged in the Galway half forward line. He is now, and they're pushing up and they're saying to Galway, we're going to fight you over every yard on the pitch. And he draws the free, and a fantastic opportunity now. Man, your shot, Peter Duggan.
Well, Galway fans will be looking for an immediate response to all of this. They were so dominant in the opening 17 minutes of this match. They could have blown Clare out of the match completely at that stage. They had so many wides as well. Duggan with the effort, and Duggan with the latest point. He's got 7. Well appreciated by the Banner fans, as it's 14 points to 112, and the margin, once again, is a solitary point. Listen to the crowd now, getting right behind the two teams as James Skehill pucks it out. All the way down there, beyond Mannion, into Johnny Glenn, runs on again, this time picked up by Joseph Cooney, given back out again. What a save that was! Conor Cooney saved superbly by Donald Toohey. Best piece of goalkeeping in the match so far. Should have been a second goal for Conor Cooney. They're not out of danger yet, however, Clare, and the pressure is still on, and Galway managed to get a point out of it, and it's the captain, it's David Burke, who came up to put the finishing touches.
Yeah, some save. Cooney slipped the ball away to the other Cooney. Great shot, great save, hit high up on the hand of the hurley, but watched it onto it.
Back at the other end, the pressure is on. Clare trying to exert pressure, but there, battling to take it out is Daithí Burke, and Daithí Burke fouled, wins the free, G's up himself and the team. Well, they could have had another goal there just a moment ago.
They could, but Daithí Burke there is resilient, you know. I mean, for a guy that they were saying he his left ankle, here's the chance again. Conor Cooney comes on to, if he got it again, he'd probably say he'd want to put it low, but it's still a fantastic save. You can see it across Toohey, right on it. Watch this ball hit the hurley, great save, and moved it out to the side.
As a goalkeeper with that particular save, it wasn't so much the boss that managed to save it, it was higher up in the hurley stick, wasn't it?
Sometimes they say, Jared, the more you practice, the luckier you get, I think is the way it is, but whatever it takes. But again, Joe there is fouled. Galway going longer on the puck outs. The Clare defenders are saying that when he comes down, he's holding their arms.
Going to be a yellow card, it would appear here. Conor Cooney, the man who is at the receiving end from St. Joseph's in Milltown. So yellow card for him. Free to Galway. Joe Canning will be the taker. He's got 5 already in the game. 10 minutes into the second half. And an opportunity to stretch the lead out to 3 points. Galway have had more of the chances. They've had an awful lot of possession in this match. Far too many wides in the first half. More economical second time around.
And just as Joe's hitting the free there, all the Galway players behind him are pointing to make sure there's no quick puck out from Toohey. A little bit more alive.
A goal between them once again. And this is the reason why the yellow card was awarded. That was the foul by Conor Cooney there. Up onto the back, dragging down his opponent. Short puck out taken by Clare, almost fumbled. David McInerney manages to spoon it out into the middle of the field. Ready to take a return himself, but instead it's Conor Cleary who fights it down towards top of the right. Down there towards John Conlon. Going across was John Hanbury. Helped out here by Daithí Burke. On his hands and knees with the referee from about 45 metres away. Saw the foul on Burke. Free out. Pleased by John Conlon that there wasn't an offence.
The wraparound there on the arms, and there's the high left arm in. Trying to tackle the spare hand, we'll call it. Tackle, so it is a free out. But again, it's just poor use of the ball through the middle from Conor Cleary. He spooned that ball in. He should know that Aidan Hart is going to be sitting back. There's a spare man. McInerney made a great run through the middle.
It'll be James Skehill who will take this, replacing Colm Callan, of course, this season. Colm Callan who had an absolutely wonderful year last year. This is all the way down towards Conor Cooney. One instead with David Burke coming on to it. And another fine strike from the middle of the park. And the captain does it again. That's 2 from him in this second half. And he moves out the lead once more to 4 points. So it's as you were at half-time. Puck out has been taken as far as David Reedy for Clare. Trying to slip it in over the head of Joseph Cooney, who's a very, very big, tall man. Got the stick to it, gave it into David Burke. Feeding it forward here, but it should be David McInerney. He's a little stumble here at the most inappropriate moment, and Conor Whelan's able to take possession, take control of it, and make the most of the opportunity. It should have been cleared, it wasn't, and they paid the price.
That'll be really frustrating for the Clare management. First of all, you had Cleary in the middle of the pitch making a bad decision. Galway get a point, and there you had David Reedy trying to float the ball over a guy who's 6'5", you know, intercepted, mistake, and then another point. So Clare now have really led to being 5 points down because of 2 errors.
David Fitzgerald has been introduced, and he's gone into the middle of the park. And here he is immediately, number 19, getting involved. In for Peter Duggan, trying to keep it alive here with Tony Kelly. He'll hit everything. He'll hope that a fair share of them go where they're supposed to go, and that one didn't. That tends to be an old Tony Kelly trait. From the puck out, Pádraig Mannion lofting this one without any great deal of direction. Colm Galvin able to calm that one, bring it across over here through Pat O'Connor, and they can build again. 5 points between the teams.
Yeah, Adrian Toohey was pulling back Podge there. He had an arm over the shoulder. Podge gave him a little tug first to get him the room and then slowed down his run, and Toohey fouled him. It was a good spot by the referee.
Clare must be hoping that they can manage to pin back the lead pretty quickly again, because 5 points is a fair old advantage, having managed to get it back to 1 on 2 occasions.
It is, and that's exactly there, Ger, in the last 15 seconds of play. It's what they need to do. You can hear the crowd go a little bit ooh now, why are they going sharp? But they need to get the ball in accurately into grass in front of their forwards, and when that happens, then you know you've Podge and all run onto it and they can draw fouls.
They've been heavily dependent on Peter Duggan. He's benefited by some indiscipline by Galway. This will be his 8th point. Hasn't missed a trick.
Yeah, he's been really, really good today, Peter Duggan, in general play and also from the place balls.
Micheál Donoghue hoping to try and repeat the wonderful feat of last year. First of all, to get into the final itself, the object of the exercise this afternoon. David Reedy to try and make it more difficult for Galway. getting it down here as far as Podge Collins. Carried on here well. It's the substitute. And he's put that one over the bar. What an impact immediately here by David Fitzgerald. Only on about 60 seconds. Got a couple of touches. And the vital one here is to put it over and to make it 1-16 to 16 points.
And that's the difference here when the ball goes in shoulder high into that Galway backline. The Clare forwards are very good on the stick and good to lay it off.
Clare have got the last 2 scores. Now who's going to get the next one? Jonathan Glynn hoping it will be Galway, and he can nail it, but he hasn't. He's missed.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worrying match-up maybe for Clare. Glynn is over on Shane Amori. It's a huge difference in height, and Galway have targeted the last couple of puck-outs down that wing. You can see him there, you know, he gets at his strength.
Man who's based himself in Ireland this year, watching now as Colm Galvin strikes it from the middle of the park, and he's got another one for Clare. A first of the day for him, the 25-year-old from Clonlara.
Yeah, there's some tap down from Tony Kelly. Played the ball down to Galvin, you know, good puck out from Toohey. Kelly is playing that role in the middle channel there, is getting ahead of those Galway midfielders who want to sit back.
2 between them. It was 5 a little while ago. Another great catch by Peter Duggan. Hits it hastily, accurately, and over. 9 points for Peter Duggan. What a display. Is there more in him? Is there more in Clare? And what is the Galway response going to be?
Sometimes Jerry's caught that ball on his own 65 and just pinged it over the bar. The breeze is blowing right to left. The banner roaring. Galway have decided to take the sting out of the game now, which is probably the right thing to do. Garrod McNerney hits the deck, and Niall Burke is ready to come in.
Well, we said he was going to come in about, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes ago. He's finally going to get his opportunity, it would appear. And the player he's going to replace is Joseph Cooney, who today appeared in his 33rd championship match and is now only 2 behind his illustrious father Joe from the great team of the 1980s. Joe played in 35 championship matches. So on comes Niall Burke, off goes Joe Cooney.
And to be fair, when Niall Burke was warming up, Jerry, you know, I mean, Galway then suddenly, Clare made 2 mistakes with the way they used the ball. Galway got 2 points, go 5 clear, and you think if you all done her weight, I'm not going to change it, we have momentum. Garrod McInerney, if there is something genuinely wrong with his ankle.
That's 2 of them in the central positions with ankle problems, Daithí Burke and Garrod.
I'd say we can put the Daithí Burke one to bed. I'd say he looks fairly alright, he looks fairly okay down there. To be fair to Garrod McInerney, I thought first of all it might be a bit of a ply, but
no, it's not.
He's struggling, to be fair to him.
Great catch by Jamie Shanahan. Back into a 2-man inside forward line, to the hands of O'Donnell, on towards Conlon, pressurised by Daithí Burke. Conlon in the sunlight, hitting this one, hitting it accurately, putting it over, and the teams are level for the 2nd time in the match.
It is, and you could see that the high ball coming in there. Fantastic catch, Clare defence totally on top. Another little lift for Clare now, Gerard, that one sails over the bar. Is Garrod McInerney's given a signal. He's out, and he's after being replaced by Paul Killeen.
Paul Killeen, the 25-year-old, comes on to replace Garrod McInerney. Well, it's good to see Paul Killeen back here in Croke Park. He had a very, very bad year last year when they were winning the All-Ireland. He was out with an injury. Conor Whelan back there starring once again to restore Galway's advantage. Wonderful character, wonderful skill, deadly accurate.
Oh, the good news here, Jerry, is with 20 minutes left in this game. Plenty more. Look at that for a score. Off of his left, just when they need it. Clare away again on the quick puck out.
Galway shaded by a point. Clare come, as you say, back down towards John Conlon. There in a match-up with Daithí Burke. Lets it run off his body down towards Podge Collins. Ooh, steals a march inside, but it throws it away there. Killeen is the one who picked it up, and the referee has blown his whistle. It's going to be a free in for the Bannermen.
Again, Conlon, when the ball breaks down, Podge is buzzing around underneath him. Conlon ships a heavy tackle from Hart. Shane O'Donnell comes in to break away Hart from it. Podge gets it, and there's that right arm up in the air. Anything above shoulder height, Daithí Burke there, it is a free in. It's as simple as that.
We're 54 minutes into the match. Plenty of time, as Brendan Cummins was saying, left. But remember, the subs could yet come in. People like Ian Galvin for Clare, perhaps. What about Jason Flynn for Galway? They could still have a big impact in this match. It's going to be Peter Duggan, 9 points so far. He's on to 10. 2 of the 10 have come from open play, the rest from frees. And it is a draw once again between these teams for the 3rd time. 117 to 20 points. Who's going to get the ticket into next month's All-Ireland hurling final. There could be extra time, by the way. Jonathan Glynn here, feeds it off here as well to Joe Canning, and Canning again coming in from that left-hand side. That's 2 in a row coming in from that side, and Canning's 7th point.
It's that match-up again with Jonathan Glynn and Shane O'More. You can see in there, you can't even hardly see the Clare defender Shane O'More in shot. He's that much smaller than Glynn, so Clare are going to have to put Cleary over on him, and they're going quick out to him on a puck out, but on the Galway puck out, Shane O'More is struggling on Jonathan Glynn.
He's got it, and he gives it back as far as Patrick O'Connor, and O'Connor back to Morey once more. Dashes away from the challenges, hits it down there, hopes for the best. Duggan goes in to try and battle for it. In there as well with Paul Killeen. They try to win it back. Podge Collins is waiting for it to come out towards him. Kicked ahead there by Shane O'Donnell. Looking to try and get to this, however, is Daithí Burke, the Turlough man. Robbed by Conlon. Coming in to help out David Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to try and get this one for Clare, leaving it behind, however, and eventually it's in the hands of Porrick Mannion, who was fouled, and it's a free out for Galway, and it's helter-skelter stuff down there right now.
It's unbelievable defending there. Just before that, Duggan had thrown up the ball to look to see Conor Cleary thrown up the ball to see could he get a swing on it, and Mannion came in out of nowhere and pickpocketed him and bust straight out and won a great free.
James Skehill taking this one. Galway a point in front, all the way down towards Jonathan Glynn. Inside towards Cathal Mannion as well. Mannion trying to release it inside here. Johnny Cohen had advanced onto the 13-metre line. Clare there standing in numbers trying to force them out. Patrick O'Connor trying to get a stick to it. Across comes Shane O'More. He's got pace. He gets away from his man this time, and his man managed to stick the stick in there, and it's Conor Cooney who flicked it away from the defender. It'll be a line ball for Clare, but a great piece of defending.
Yeah, it was great defending. We saw Mannion a few minutes ago taking the ball off David Fitzgerald, and again there it was Conor Cleary. Conor Cooney dispossessing.
Shane
Skill level is high here, Gerard, to be fair.
Oh, he looked very weary that time when he hit that one, Shane O'More, from 6 Mile Bridge. A real deficiency of energy because he was standing over it, and he just couldn't really get anything behind it. It's got to be a line ball again for Joe Canning. The angle is a tight one, but he's still capable of putting it over, and we're going to see very shortly Conor McGrath coming on for Clare. He will be their second change. Well, he's done it once already today. Will Joe Canning be able to put over a second sideline cut? First point of the second half. Will this be the last of the second of this half? Not quite here. It is wide number 15. That's a lot, an awful lot. So 25, Conor McGrath comes on, and the player making his way off for them is Podge Collins. Back on a ground where he got one of the goals in that All-Ireland final in 2013, that memorable afternoon for Davy Fitzgerald and for Clare that day. Right now, Galway edging it by a point. Clare looking to come back. Tony Kelly stealing inside 2 defenders, hand passing it inside, intended there for O'Donnell, couldn't get to it. Instead it's Daithí Burke trying to force the ball out, helped out here by Niall Burke. They managed to work it forward once again towards Jonathan Glynn. In there with McInerney, but taking it instead is Conor Whelan. Whelan stopped in his tracks, and the referee has spotted the foul, and it's got to be a free into Galway and a chance for them to go 2 to the good.
Yeah, again it's that out ball down on top of Jonathan Glynn. Conor Whelan, the very minute he gets it, all he wants to do is drive at you. Clare defence will feel they're a little bit hard done by there on for a tug back is what the free was for.
Francis Ford there alongside Micheál Donoghue, one of the selectors. And you can see the number 25, Jason Flynn, being prepared in the background. No great surprise if he comes on. Lost his place in the team towards the concluding stages of last year's championship, and has largely been, I won't say a peripheral figure, but he's been a substitute who's come on in matches. It's made a big difference as well, but he hasn't been a starter regularly. He couldn't do without this man, Joe Canning. Takes his time, makes sure, and gets his 8th point of this All-Ireland semi-final, and now puts Galway ahead by 119 to 20 points. Changes maybe being planned.
The bench is vital now, obviously with 10 minutes left.
It's a long long time until next January again, when the season will start for these inter-county hurlers, as David Fitzgerald knocks it in towards John Conlon, looking to try and get a stick to it, couldn't do so. And another one has been missed by Clare. Still they trail, 2 adrift. Galway working it out. Could be a dangerous one, a little risky, but taken here with some trouble by David Burke, then lost to David Reedy, stands his ground, not hooked, and the referee has blown his whistle, and it's got to be a free to Clare from the middle of the park.
Yeah, David Burke is asking, is it me? But again, it's back down to that high tackle coming in on Reedy. See the left arm up, not anything above the shoulder, and in fairness to James Owens all day, he's been consistent. He's given the Galway captain a yellow card.
Niall Deasy has just come on, and the player he replaced has been David Reedy, involved in that last piece of action. When he was fouled, it results in this free for Peter Duggan to take. Duggan, the scorer of 10. From right in the middle of the park, as you can see, he's been very accurate so far, and he retains that wonderful level of excellence with his 11th. It's a one-point game once more, and we've got 9 minutes remaining. It truly is anybody's match. Galway have looked the more likely. They've had a goal already and a very, very good goal chance denied by Donald Toohey. They go for more right now, and Clare tried to deny them and get it out through Jamie Shanahan. Carried on out here by substitute David Fitzgerald. He's making a big difference. David Burke is trying to catch up with him. It's still Fitzgerald, hand passing it outside. They look for the next score, and they manage to get it. Brilliantly done. That's superbly done by Niall Deasy.
Yeah, and a worrying thing there for Galway will be that when David Burke was trying to follow David Fitzgerald, he wasn't catching him.
Correction, it's not Deasy. In fact, I should have credited Ian Galvin for that one. It was Ian Galvin who got that last score. He's done really well, 22 points apiece. Off go Clare once more. This time it is Tony Kelly. Kelly hitting it, trying to get it inside the right-hand upright, and he's put it wide. Missed opportunity for Clare to go in front for what would be the first time in the match. I think it's so evenly balanced.
When you say there about Ian Galvin, he's a Tipperary fella. I should never forget Ian Galvin, after his fantastic goal in Thurles earlier in the year, has gotten Clare into this position, and it's a serious position now if they can hold their heads here.
Well, he came on in place of David Reedy, and he's done really well with that point. Conor Cleary now, back into the middle, and David McInerney decides to make a burst from full back. Coming across to take this, however, is Aidan Hart. Started the second half as the extra player back there. Cathal Mannion now driving it up into the air and driving it over the bar as well. First in the second half, but a fourth in all. What a performance. A man who got 6 points against Kilkenny in the replay of the Leinster final. And here he has put Galway back into the lead once more. Back come Clare. Back comes Peter Duggan. 3 men are after him, hit it on the ground to try and make some headway. Still going forward. Aidan Hart tries to stop him. There is no stopping him. That is an amazing point. How did he do that?
Oh, if Clare get over the line on this one, this passage of play is going to be called the turning point. You can see him, the whole of Galway defence are all over him. Doesn't catch the ball to his hand. Unbelievable composure. You talk about the size of the big men that Galway have. They've heard about it all week. Peter Duggan says, I don't mind how big you are. I'm going to take you on down the middle and have the skill set to put over the bar.
It's truly an astonishing score. Back come Galway again now, looking to try and get the next one. That time it was Niall Burke leaving, watching Joe Canning, and Joe Canning puts it over. 9 for him in this wonderful game. It started with Galway being the absolutely dominant force for the opening quarter, but credit Clare for coming back, credit Galway for being their match. Now will they be their better? They're a point in front. Clare looking to try and get the next score. John Conlon over there, helped out here by Conor McGrath. McGrath blocked, great block. Superb piece of work that time. Still they tried to get that ball out here. It's David Burke clearing it away out of that full back line. Coming to try and meet it is Colin Galvin, challenged strongly by a couple of Galway players, slipping it across badly. Oh, it's gone completely away from where they intended. Niall Burke instead, and Niall Burke punishes the passing error by putting it over the bar.
Yeah, Clare will, if they do have 6 months before they play again, they'll have a long time to look at the mistakes they've made, giving the ball away silly there again and punish.
Pat O'Connor trying to make sure they're still in it with 5 minutes to go. Down towards John Conlon, denied initially. He battles away still, trying to get that ball in somehow. The defence stood firm that time. John Hanbury had a hand in trying to get it away. And finally they work it out here towards Pádraig Mannion. Mannion hand passing it into the clear here as far as Aidan Hart. And Hart drives it down to the 45-metre line. Collected there by Colin Galvin of Clare. Clare 2 points behind, looking to try and get the next score and stay in this. Conor McGrath, he's trying to sum up his options, surrounded by 3 or 4 Galway players, and eventually hit forward once more by Joe Canning. Dropped there by Conor Whelan. Trying to collect it was Jack Brown. In the thick of the action, trying to win it there was Niall Burke. Eventually comes out towards David Burke, and David Burke fires it over! 3 points for David Burke, the captain, playing in his 45th championship match. Superbly done.
Yeah, we're in the championship minutes really, in the last 5 or 6 minutes of a game. Galway have hit the turbo here now, and Clare are struggling to try to keep up with the level of intensity and play they brought to the game.
They're looking for a goal at this stage, Clare. Niall Burke picking himself off the ground. He was involved in the build-up, gave the ball across to David Burke.
But there's still hope, Gerard, to be fair, for Clare. When the ball comes in around Conlon, he is causing a fair bit of wreck inside there, and one little opportunity James Cahill did well earlier to come off his line and clear it.
Donald Toohey pucking it out once again. Down there towards Peter Duggan, who got his stick to it, kept it moving inside. Across came Pádraig Mannion, tried to keep the ball in play, but the linesman on this near side, who was James McGrath from Westmeath, signalling it's going to be a Clare line ball. It's very, very tense. Micheál Donoghue calling out the instructions. You can look at the clock there, 4 minutes to go, and another change about to be made. And the next man to come in will be Aaron Shanaher. How good it is to see him back. Out with a cruciate. Somehow managed to make the panel for today's game, and now can he make a big difference?
Well, all the rehab he would have done as an amateur player over the last 6, 7, 8 months or so to get back, it's no better time than to come back in Croke Park with 4 minutes left, the game in the balance, and have an opportunity to do something to win it for your county.
Replacing the hero from 2013, Shane O'Donnell. Tony Kelly. Oh, he's somehow done a Joe Canning in it, and he's put it over the bar with a wonderful sideline cut. They're still there in business. He's got 3. They've got another. The margin is 2 points. It's Galway 123. It's Clare 24 points. James Cahill to puck this one out. Galway looking to try and hold possession now here. Johnny Glynn going for it. Breaks down instead towards Johnny Cohen. Trying to advance here. Held. And he takes too many steps, the referee has decided. And it's going to be a free to Clare. They're running out of time, however. 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time, and they're 2 points behind. They've gone back to Peter Duggan to try and hit this one. Is it outside his range?
If he gets inside on top of John Conlon, the main thing is that it doesn't go wide.
He's got Shanaher in there as well now to hit it too. It's going to drop inside. Galway have got to win it. Clare are coming out to try and get there first. It's Conlon. It's Conlon.
There he is.
It's a point.
Well done, Peter Duggan. You could have tried to be the hero, but he dropped it in. He took the pace off it, put it down on top of the big man who's in form, and he's delivered.
Galway by 1. Just over 1 minute of the 70 left. Is it to be Galway in the final? Will Clare come back? The champions in a spot of bother. Possession vital here. Won by Conor Cleary. Back it comes towards Pat O'Connor. O'Connor drives it back. There are 3 minutes of additional time to be played. So we've got 4 minutes to go as Aidan Hart has got it for Galway. Now they need to use this productively. Hart sums up his options, hits it in and hits it wide. Missed chance. For the record, it's wide, number 16.
It is the pressure, the quick puck out again. Clare have a one-on-one on the edge of the Galway square.
Jamie Shanahan all the way down towards Aaron Shanahan. He's got it. Aaron Shanahan, the man, has come back trying to make his way in towards the square. Fell down. The referee quite correctly did not give a free. There was no foul there, I think. And the ball is played way down the field once again. Galway trying to mount the next attack. That ball went off the Galway player over there. And it's going to be a line ball for Clare. Last man to touch it there was the number 25, Jason Flynn.
The Aaron Shanahan, I suppose, had a little bit more game experience if he could have stood up and recycled the ball, but he did the right thing in having a go.
Tony Kelly in stoppage time. Held on to here by John Conlon, trying to make the most of this, up against two defenders. One of them is a forward, Cathal Mannion, is back helping out. Spills loose into the centre. Joe Canning tried to get to it. Tony Kelly tried to get to it, but it's Kelly who won that. Down into open space here. A race for possession. It's Ian Galvin who's putting in the pressure, but the pressure isn't quite sufficient because the ball has beaten him to it. And we've played nearly 45 seconds of the first of 3 minutes of stoppage time. And as you can see, it's 123 to 25 points. That is 26-25.
We all know in the game of hurling, though, Gerald, there's still plenty of time in this, with 2 minutes left on the clock for Clare or Galway to extend their lead.
Galway, who at one stage in the match early on led by 9 points. They come to try and get the next score. Clare tried to deny them. Colm Galvin looking for a support player to take it from him, who was his captain, Pat O'Connor. Now Donald Toohey. They work it out as far as David McInerney. Somebody's got to try and get a shot on target, and they've got to try and score, and Galway's got to try and deny them, and they've done exactly that. Porrick Mannion hitting it outside to the left-hand side towards David Burke, running loose there. Good challenge coming in. The challenge there was by Colm Galvin to deny them an opportunity, and Galvin has got it again, all the way down towards Tony Kelly. Kelly's team behind by a point. The clock showing us with about 90 seconds still to go, and there's got to be a free in, and this a chance to level the match, and who knows, maybe take it to extra time.
It is, and Tony Kelly, see the arm coming across. I'm not so sure now, to be fair. If I was all Dunho there on the line, I'm saying stand big, put your arms out. Tony Kelly gave a look at the big screen and said, I'll put myself down the ground here, hope that he'll blow full time on the puck out. But what a resilient team that man has put together and brought to Croke Park. 3 points behind against the All-Ireland champions, you'd say, coming down the home straight. Now free taker, don't want to jinx him, in good form, stands over to equalise.
He's got 12 points so far in the match. This one to nail it, and he's got it. It's his 13th point of the match, and he has levelled the game at 26 points apiece, or 123 for Galway, 26 for Clare. But there's another 30 seconds to play. Now, is there a winner here for one of these teams in normal time? It might be to Galway. It could well be. Oh, great chance by Johnny Cohen to put it over the bar. Instead, it's taken by Donald Toohey to begin the counter-offensive. Cleary in two minds, almost giving it to Colm Galvin, unsure as to which one of them should be getting it. Instead, it's David McInerney. Huge one down. Batted back out this time by Adrian Toohey. Coming to collect it is Conor McGrath. McGrath trying to win it here. Playing on, giving the hand pass inside. Oh, what an intervention that was! Oh, the referee has blown his final whistle. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think it was Cathal Mannion who denied Ian Galvin a shot on the target to possibly have won it in 70 minutes. What a finale here. Full credit to two wonderful teams for giving us such entertainment. And it's not over yet. We'll have the extra time shortly. It's Clare, 26 points. It is Galway, 123. We'll be back.
There is extra time here at Croke Park in this All-Ireland hurling semi-final. I'm not quite sure if everybody knows there's extra time, because I gather there's an awful lot of people leaving Croke Park at the moment. They might be up the end of Jones's Road, and the next thing will be running back down again, because we have another half an hour to go, or thereabouts, less than, obviously. Right, lads, there was an awful lot of roaring and shouting going on there.
Hard to hold these two boys with all their colours.
Says you.
And you'd have to say, look, it was a fantastic game of hurling. Galway led for nearly the whole game. Clare, to be fair, fought back. Peter Duggan, Tony Kelly was fantastic the second half. Colm Galvin, these lads stood up. Like, Galway was still edging that little bit ahead, but you'd feel, and if Clare ever got a goal, the whole momentum is with them. I suppose psychologically it's with Clare now, but often you'll find whoever gets the first point or two in extra time usually wins. Johnny Cohen had a chance to win, Ian Galvin, no, but like, there was desperation in the end. We thought it was 4 minutes injury time, that ref just played over 3, he's probably right. But like, you know, you couldn't argue with the game. Fantastic game of hurling, up and down the pitch, and I'd say that the legs are quite tired, so they'll have to kind of re-energise themselves in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, we were a little bit confused about that extra time ourselves, but I gather it was 3 that was posted, and there was 3.
3 on the screen, definitely. Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Desperately proud of Clare, Michael. You know, I know we're giving out about him not coming out at half time, but it obviously worked. The extra few minutes oxygen that they got in the dressing room. And, you know, came out straight away, and Joe got a sideline ball, and the Galway crowd erupted. But the response from Clare was magnificent after that. I mean, Kelly, Duggan, Conlon. Like, to give Galway a 1-7 to 1 point start, Michael, and to wind up drawing here is a testimony to where this Clare team are at in terms of heart and desire, and it's just breathtaking stuff. And in extra time, what can happen? I think the bench again. I think the Clare bench, we highlighted David Fitz, Ian Galvin. They've made a huge difference. Aaron Chandler's in there now, caught a great ball. You know, Conor McGrath maybe still not as sharp as you'd like. Who's going to come next off the bench now?
Niall Burke had a big influence.
Jason Flynn is yet to come. Jason Flynn is yet to come.
The one lad we're forgetting about there too, like, and the battle we talked about beforehand, was John Conlon roared into that match when they really need him. Picked off 4 second-half points. A phenomenal return from him. I suppose the thing was, Clare just couldn't get their noses in front. They kept pegging it back and pegging it back. And to be fair to Galway, Niall Burke had a huge impact there. Conor Whelan, you know, a fella was tied down the first half. Pádraig Mannion has just been immense at winning back.
There's a big
David Burke even as
Gareth
well.
McInerney's gone off injured.
Yes.
Big loss. Like okay, you have subs on there, young Killeen is on, but like McInerney kind of tied down the middle last year. He was kind of the missing cog that was missing of the jigsaw. He's gone now, and he's a very big loss, because you'll find that Tony Kelly, these fellas will try to drive down the middle the whole time. Because when they get in flow, Clare and even the banner roar, the whole lot starts coming. Like, you know, Galway want to hit the first point or two here.
And there's no doubt, sir, like, Tony Kelly is made for this place, and this place is made for Tony Kelly, isn't it? He just loves it. The space and the movement and some of the runs he has made.
Even just one piece of skill there alone was the poke out that hit him, and he just put his hurl to it, and there was Colm Galvin picking up and lamped it over the bar. And you just say, the presence and the awareness, I mean, that's what you talk about, instinctive hurling and the brain. Yes, players get well programmed nowadays on setups and how to play and what to do and where to make these runs. You can't train that, you know. That's something that you say to young lads. That's something you practice.
What has turned the game? Like, what has turned the game from the 17th and a half minute, right? You could say the Galway lull, did they think this is going to be easy? I think it's Clare got their shape right. They let Conor Cleary go with Joe Kenning.
Settled down a bit,
abandoned centre back and got Colm Galvin to centre back and dropped him and let Kelly, you know, drift back into the space.
And that's the thing.
But I think that has turned the game.
Joe Kenning is not in the match.
Yeah, but well, he might be.
Got 2 nice points there now.
After all that, lads, Galway are shooting themselves in the foot. They've had 16 wides. Even half to go. Like, they have the chances, playing well enough. Now they're on the back foot, because definitely psychologically in, Clare are kind of, you know, they're happy. They're looking forward to it.
But equally, Cyril, I think Clare a few times there, we've seen Jamie Shanahan go up the field, and when lads make the runs one way, and he puts it straight to the goal. And I know it's not easy when you're going up there, because lads are moving.
Like David McInerney did it. Colm Galvin, as much as we're praising him, he went to give a shot.
And they're little things, you know.
Let's have a look, lads, at how Anthony Clare levelled this match. As Cyril said, never led it, but this was important.
Yeah, and I was afraid Brendan Cummins is going to put the mockers on Peter Duggan, but he has been absolutely superb from the frees, and that took a bit of battle, even though, you know, he's been 100%, I think, from the frees.
This chance for going out. Probably Johnny Cohen could have travelled a bit more, like, and probably getting tired as well. Weak shot, and like that's once that doesn't go over.
So we're down that side of the pitch, and as soon as Johnny hit that, you felt that's going over.
We thought ourselves it was, but like, I suppose that's what happens when you play in a position like Johnny Cohen is. He's
up and down.
You know, he's everywhere, and then you'd argue he is well able to take a point, but you just say maybe the energy levels are shot, and that's where I suppose your training comes down to it. If you have a real high intensity training session at the very end of it, like, I mean, that's where you say, okay, if Joe gets that, he knows how to take that extra half second to compose himself and nail that.
It was like a punch-drunk boxer hitting that there, really, wasn't he? He was just, you know.
But there was 1 point in the second half of Peter Duggan. There was at least 5 or 6 goalkeepers. You think he couldn't hit. Next throws up, gets one little flick to it.
For me, this was the best point.
Yeah, like, watch this now. This guy is big and strong.
Three Galway defenders.
Even 4 or 5 close in them. You think, how can he hit it now? But this is his favourite little trick. Look, I thought it was going to be one-handed. He's quite capable, Michael, even in college matches, of giving one-handed flick over the bar. Like, he's a big, gentle giant. he's really like made the Clare team this year his own, because it's the first time. You know, the first time
he's
actually
had a good game here at Croke Park
He's
so
averaging
far.
10-11 points every match.
Really brought Clooney to the county final for the first time since the 40s.
Brought us to the county final, nearly won his own.
And he's really bringing that level up now to county level.
Isn't it ironic, lads, that we spent a fair bit of time before this match talking about Dahi Burke and the injury that he had. Would he play? Would he not play? And so on. And of course, he played. And then it's the other big man in defence that actually goes back, as Cyril said earlier on there.
Yeah, I think, and it's probably, like we spoke about beforehand, having little tests as you go along. And we'd have always said up to now, Galway have the 3 or 4 to come in up front, and what if something happened at the back? Have they tested their defence? And I thought maybe Sean Loftus or someone like that might be the obvious one for a half-back line.
More
but
midfield,
Killeen has come in there. Aidan Hart has probably held the middle there, and I think he's sitting mopping up. But to be fair to Dahi Burke, look, he has grounded out and he hasn't been really found wanting. However, you still look at in that game of inches, Connon has pilfered 4 off him in the second half.
Something, by the way, I should mention to you, lads, we could be here an awful long time tonight because we know about the controversy at half-time and they're not coming out. The second half is now due to be on. Neither side have come out.
But I imagine, like always, when Paul Killeen there came on, back from a cruciate injury, he will know Peter Duggan well, played together for 3 years in LIT. He'd probably go on him and try to negativise him, you know.
I'd say what's happening is they're both peeping out the door to see
Are they out?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. But Michael, I wonder the Munster Championship was a little bit more intense than Leinster. It was. There was tougher, tighter. Every day was a battle. Will it stand to Clare now coming down the stretch?
But Galway had 2 tough matches against Kilkenny, like, you know, they had an extra match against Kilkenny, which they needed really,
that one,
like, you know.
Probably wouldn't be there now only for that drawn game.
I think that has been probably the makings of Galway, that sometimes you could catch a team that is going very, very well, All-Ireland champions, and they mightn't have been tested and they get caught, whereas Galway got their fright.
What I was saying is actually what's happening in the dressing room. I gather Galway won't come out until Clare go out because of what happened.
Well, you see, whoever's out last, Michael, they get the last roar. In other words, like, psychologically, the roar is for you. Even if they're booing against you, it's still for you. But the big thing is whoever comes out is to get the first point or 2 on the scoreboard. Usually whoever gets the first point or 2 wins the extra time.
You used to say it yourself, sir, in dressing rooms that we share the win the throw-in.
Yeah, it's fight.
You know, it's a game
it's a small
of
thing. It's
millimetres.
Inches at this stage. Like,
I wonder if we sent in Marty Morrissey to get the Clare crowd out.
Well, it could cost them both a few bob today now.
They might come out at all then.
Yeah, I say if they make the All-Ireland final, whoever makes it won't matter too much.
But I think it should be the opposite nearly. You should be saying, right, you won't want to come off the field, so get back out there quick and get going when you have momentum rather than going a tiny bit tired.
It's a fantastic game of hurling or sport. You see 2 teams in front of 50,000.
You know that man, Cyril?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
On the left, Anthony Cunningham.
To be fair to him, he had most of these as in Croke Park and didn't win, but went very near winning. And when you look at the Dublin team this year, unlucky could have beaten Eddie's Kilkenny.
Probably could have got man that you all know.
Yeah. Professor is there himself. He's not going to go away. And he would relish that.
You okay,
he'd be putting Eddie straight turn around, go to you. Did nothing yet. Get up and stuck in for the next half an hour. But like,
we're putting you back on.
But Michael, the sportsmanship that's there today, the hard tackles, no one questioned the ref, no one questioned. Get up and drive on again. It's a joy to behold, and that's why hurling really is the game. Really.
Just one of the things there, I just see even with the Galway puckouts there, I was just looking at it, like they brought Jonathan Glynn off the edge of the square and he plucked 2 there under the Cusack stand, and then they seem to have stopped going to him.
They went down the middle there.
You had Shane O'More was on him, and there's a huge difference there in height.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, surely there's something there that you could exploit. And yet they went back into traffic, and Colm Galvin went over there to I suppose he doubled up a little bit on that side. So maybe that.
And as you can see, the official has gone back into the. We saw this at half time. To try and get them out. Well, it looks like Galway are ready to.
Another news there's 3 Galway lads in the backroom team for Clare today, like 3 all from Loughrea Club, you know. So it's unusual, really. Like,
it certainly is. There's no doubt about that. Okay.
Sean Loftus has gone on there. He's come down the tunnel there with his helmet on. Yeah.
Oh, look, we have 2 teams.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Here we go.
Okay. The match was exciting. The second half was dramatically exciting. I gather we're going to be in for more in this extra time. Let's see how it all works out. We'll go back to the commentary box to rejoin Ger and Brendan.
Michael, yes, looking forward to it very, very much indeed. Before this weekend, somebody said to me, here we are, last weekend of July, and there's only one more weekend of inter-county hurling to look forward to, and that is the All-Ireland final itself. People love this product. They would love to have weeks and weeks and weeks in the best weather to see more of it.
There's no doubt, Gerard, it's just a gift that keeps on giving throughout the summer. You know, we had the fatigue that the players experienced during the round robin. Now they've had their rest. The fantastic Leinster finals, Munster finals. And now Galway have made their switch with Adrian Toohey coming out, and like the lads mentioned, Sean Loftus, and man, your shot there is in.
Yeah, former minor star Sean Loftus in to try and lend his contribution now to what he hopes will be a winning Galway performance. They go again, first period of extra time, 10 minutes per half. So let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah, Cathal Mannion just got a clip there, the saviour really of Galway in the first half.
Wasn't he just?
Yeah, he got a clip there from David Fitzgerald. He tried to get ahead on the throw-in, like Cyril would have said earlier, always anxious to get in to win that first throw-in. Big opportunity for Joe now to try to steady extra time for Galway.
This to give Galway an immediate advantage at the beginning of the extra 20 minutes. Perfectly straight. Good start. Galway by one again. Everybody thoroughly enjoying the level of competition so far. That puck out just about works in Clare's favour, because they managed to get that ball down to Tony Kelly, down into the corner, but down there to win that ball instead is John Hanbury. Hanbury coming out a little bit more onto the 45-metre line. It should be Pat O'Connor's, and he is. Throws it out to his right-hand side. There were two Clare backs, uncertain as to whose ball it should be. I think it was intended for Colm Galvin. He's got it now anyway. Inside to Tony Kelly with his pass. There's an extra player back there sweeping and taking this one, and that is Sean Loftus playing the sweeper role up towards Joe Canning once again, deep inside his own 65-metre line. Pat O'Connor coming for this one, missing it, breaks down. An opportunity now for Galway to get another score here. Johnny Cohen, who should have scored in normal time, having taken the pass there from Jason Flynn. Away come Clare once again, but again the pass is somewhat indiscriminate. Loftus couldn't take it, slipped on the ground. Shanaher, who came on as a substitute, gets his first possession here in extra time, drops it in, and it came off John Conlon in the end. I'm not even sure if there was a nudge by John Conlon on Daithí Burke as that ball was coming down.
You can see Conlon coming in there, a little nudge in the back of him, but if he caught that it would have been interesting, because it didn't look like James Owens had his hand up to give a free or playing any advantage.
Didn't think so. James Skehill. His team just a point ahead. Shane O'Morey once again flying down that wing. Hitting the shot in here, hitting it to the left-hand side, and it's wasted possession. And it stays at 124 to 26 points.
Yeah, of course, the temptation is, you know, that I want to get the first score to get my team back into it, but Clare just need to do what they're doing at the end of normal time, play through the lines.
Galway have tended to play in fits and starts during this particular match so far. Niall Burke, and that one has gone to the right. Missed opportunity. An awful lot of tension around right now. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Clare had to claw their way back during the second half. Now looking for their first point in extra time. Down towards Conlon. Shanaher went for it as well. Everybody missed it. But John Hanbury has it instead. Steady and assured. Out towards Niall Burke. Had a very good season so far, Niall Burke. That's a very good looking pass intended in there for Jason Flynn, but cut out instead by Pat O'Connor.
Yeah,
line ball.
Good work there by Pat O'Connor. I've never seen that man your shot me all done as animated. He was 10 yards in the pitch there a while ago, claiming that Niall Burke had been fouled. You can see the fourth official there is down. He seems to be man marking him with the last since extra time started.
That's James Connors from Donegal, and it's going to be once again Joe Canning, who hit a very, very good sideline at the beginning of the second half. Virtually the same angle, well capable of putting it over. That's on its way. Two in a row then for Joe, one from a free, one from a sideline, and he's put Galway, the All-Ireland champions from last year, 2 points in front.
It's an unbelievable skill to have with the pressure of extra time. All-Ireland semi-final, it brings people to their feet like that.
Donald Toohey into the centre here, picked up and retained well by Ian Galvin. Down towards David Fitzgerald, knocks it off here towards Conor Cleary. Across outside to Shane O'Morey. Last shot he hit was away to the left-hand side. This one needs to be on target. but he's hit to the other side of the goalpost this time.
Well, that's silly now from Shane Murray. You know, you'd want to shake him and say, stop, man, you know, show a bit of composure, play it into the forwards. You're a wing back for a reason. You had your pot shot, it didn't work, and it just sips a little bit of the momentum out of Clare again.
From the restart, up towards Johnny Glynn, got a stick to it. Should be Pat O'Connor's, comes across, sweeps, hand passes it out to Cleary once again, feeding it down there. Well taken by John Conlon. Since half-time he has excelled in this match, and another one has been missed by Clare. That's 3 wides at the start of the second half, extra time. Frustrating for the management team.
It is, and I think, to be fair to the players here, Jerry, we have to take into account there's going to be that bit of fatigue that they would have had over the bar after 20 minutes now down there. It's finding the energy to swing the hurley after winning possession.
David Fitzgerald up into the air. This one's gone, and that's gone the same way. 4 wides now in a row, and I'm sure somebody's got to say at some stage or other, when it's an All-Ireland semi-final, do they deserve a replay after 70 minutes? Well, they're not going to get it this time because it's extra time, as we know, the way the new championship is structured.
I think the way it is, you finish it on the night. But at Clare, the way they're playing and the way they've hit those wides there now, you know, they need to get their act together from a composure point of view.
Tony Kelly ready to take the sideline cut. Held on to here by Morey, then helped out by Peter Duggan, the hero in the opening 70 minutes of this match. Down to John Conlon, fed off beautifully to Ian Galvin, and that will do.
Much better. Ball in front of Conlon. Dahi Burke isn't trying to get out in front of John Conlon. Whether now his legs are moving, that injury might be starting to bite in. But again, Conlon lays it off. Galvin onto his shoulder. Fantastic score.
Must be only a matter of time before Ian Galvin is very much part of the starting 15 for Clare. It's been hugely effective this year. Morey under some pressure. Tony Kelly coming in to try and help out. Jason Flynn there in the white helmet watching. It's picked up instead by Conor Cleary. Back out to Shane and Morey drives it back down again. Sean Loftus sweeping, comes across, able to take it for Galway in his stride. Into Aidan Hart, clipping it forward once again, looking to try and link up with Joe Canning, who's on the ground. Jason Flynn comes in to help out, looks at his shot, and the shot has gone away right. Missed opportunity again for Galway.
We're going to have a hold up here for a while. Joe Canning is down on the ground, and knows his hip or his leg, his left is the problem.
And this is a genuine injury. This time you may be absolutely sure, because he had no reason to stay down.
His knee got jarred in the surface there. As he comes down, watch his left knee there, it gets plugged. And you can see the divot that it's left. That's a sore one now, be fair for Joe.
Remember the injury he got in an All-Ireland semi-final, I remember a couple of years ago?
It was against Tipperary.
Yeah, it was.
That he went over on it and did his knee. That's a sore jolt to get now across it. He'll need a while to get the leg to relax a bit and find out if there's actual damage done or not. He'll have to take his time with this one.
Well, we've got to give the players a great deal of credit for the way in which they've approached this evening's semi-final. I know people say it doesn't matter a difference whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday. Traditionally it has been Sunday, I suppose, but they've adjusted to it very quickly. Galway got away to such a wonderful start in this match. They were wonderfully focused and so direct and so accurate, and Clare absolutely at sea. I think at one stage you used the phrase to me, Brendan, that it were like a crowd on an aeroplane suddenly adjusting everything, mechanics.
You kind of fix the plane when it's the air. I thought in those early stages, Clare, someone should have went down injured. But either way, look, it shows the resilience of both teams, that, you know, they're going hell for leather at this thing. And the good news is, for Galway in this game, that Joe Canning is up and moving.
And Donald Toohey has done the restarting, getting it down here as far as Peter Duggan. Knocked forward for McGrath to try and take, but it's Loftus who's blocked down by McGrath. He says it was out before he ever touched it. Sean Clear is the linesman over there, and he's giving the decision Clare's way.
Yeah, great work from Conor McGrath there. He needs that. For me, his year hasn't been that great. He hasn't made the impact that Flynn or Niall Burke would make when they come into the team. And hopefully that block down from there will get his confidence flowing.
One of the great players from the 2013 final, of course, was Conor McGrath. Had his injury problems. Duggan now. Awkward angle, an impossible angle. Far too difficult. Should he have kept it in play?
And possibly, yeah, but I suppose you'd say to a guy at this stage in the game, back your skills.
2 minutes of additional time now played at the end of the opening half of extra time, where Galway continued to lead by 125 to 27 points, but it's only a point. And who's going to get the next score? David Burke looking to try and get onto it there, but held off strongly. Whipped away out of danger. Tony Kelly helping out Jamie Shanahan. Coming back here is Sean Loftus. Loftus driving it up into the clouds. It's going to drop down in front of the goalkeeper. And Donald Toohey is able to begin the counter-offensive. Oh, O'Connor was waiting for that one to come to him. The goalkeeper really sold him a pop that time, but it comes out towards Shane O'Morey, and he solos away unhindered, getting it downfield down towards Ian Galvin. His team a point behind at this stage, swinging this one from on the sideline, and that one has gone wide. He was trying to do a Joe Canning from last year against Tipperary.
Yeah, you can see too, and he comes out with the ball. He needs to strike through that. You don't need to be flicking. We mentioned the first half about Clare defenders taking the ball static. It's fatigue, it's all those different things, but either way, Clare got away with creating an opportunity.
Mental sharpness as well as every other kind of sharpness is going to be needed right now to try and win that place in the final. Galway the champions from last year. Clare putting it up to them. The neighbours in battle. They don't meet all that terribly often. They play in different sections of the Alliance League. This time it's Cathal Mannion who wins it back up into the 20-metre line towards Johnny Glynn, who holds onto it for dear life, gives it back outside again. A scoring opportunity is denied, but the referee saw a foul. David Burke had hit a poor shot, and it's got to be a free in. And the referee has the notebook out once again.
Yeah, David McInerney there, he just throws the hurley as the ball is coming in. You can see him there, and that's what got the block on it. But any time that ball has gone in high, whether it's John Conlon at one end or Jonathan Glenn on the other end, it's been a case that they've been the go-to men. They've won possession for all the tactics you'd have in the world. Throw it in on the edge of the square. A big man wins a 50-50 ball and brings others into the game.
A little bit desperate on the part there of David McInerney. We're seeing Joseph Cooney come back. Now the player going off is David Burke. 3 changes can be made in extra time. That's part of the ruling. It's regarded as a new game. Joe Canning is going to hit the resultant free. This will put 2 between them again. And we'll have played our 2 minutes of additional time at the end of the opening period of extra time. Bit of a mouthful. Joe gets the score. It's his 12th of the day. He's done really well on his frees. We may well see Shane O'Donnell come back on again. He's on, in fact. The player he's replacing is going to be Conor McGrath. This is Colm Galvin. He's under a lot of pressure immediately. Jason Flynn showing his sharpness and his awareness, anticipating perfectly, giving it back out here towards Niall Burke, and Niall Burke has mishit that one.
At this stage, Clare, I'd say, will be happy that is half-time. Just get back in just to reset.
Galway lead at the end of all of that by 2 points, but they've also, over the match, hit 20 wides, which means Clare are still very much in it. There'll be 10 minutes to go. This is the position right now. Galway leading 126, that's 29 points, to 27 for Clare.
Well, we're not any wiser, obviously, at this stage, lads, of how this one is going to work out. On this occasion, by the way, the teams are not going back.
They blocked the tunnel down there, Michael.
So yeah, it's a quick turnaround.
Well, the rule is the 5-minute turnaround.
Yeah.
They can hardly be able to win.
Yeah.
There'll be no cups of tea this time. Galway came back out and went at Clare again, but you can see the fatigue is setting in. You can't blame it. Even you look at the depth of the squads. Some of the lads have been taken off or going back on again. Both sets of squads. So it's going to come down to fitness really, and maybe one lucky break.
A little bit of composure,
it's going to be a little bit slippier for this final 10 minutes because it started raining again.
Yeah. Straight from the throw-in, a loose pull from David Fitzgerald, who has been very good now, stick him on. A free for Joe. Then Patrick O'Connor cuts out a fantastic ball. Great piece of skill to get there and get the touch, but you're given a line ball. Joe nails it, and Clare hit 7 wides in the first 10 minutes of extra time. It's just that little things turn hurling games, and that's the 2-point swing at the moment,
It is, but I mean, at the same time, who would say now who's going to win it?
it's very hard to call it still, Michael, because Clare probably haven't really got going since the extra period of time, the first one. So you'd be, from a Clare perspective, you'd be saying, geez, they definitely need to get going now soon. And even just small little things, and again, it's fatigue, but you just see even there for me, Conor McGrath is on, and Ian Galvin, those are the guys that now need to put on the afterburners. Even Jason Flynn got a chance there just after half time, or just after it commenced, and he hesitated for a split second when there was an easy point on, and he threw it outside him, and you just kind of say, your fresh lads should be really thinking better than anyone. And I know it's easy to say that from our perspective, but you need your fresh lads now. And I was saying to Dale outside, the lads that are just on now have to really use their fresh legs, go at lads, run at lads, because fatigue is there now, and lads are going to make even this slappy hand or whatever.
The fresh legs that are brought on are taken off again. You know what I mean? Conor McGrath's gone back off, like he's been taken off.
He wasn't at the pace at all when he came in.
But I just say it's hard on a lad to be put on and taken off again. Now look, it won't come down to fitness really, like both teams are fit. Whoever gets a little edge, again Galway are 2 up, if they could go to 3 to 4 up. But if Clare ever hit the front, there's no doubt about it. Clare
themselves up there, lads, but as you can see, they're getting
as well. It's poured rain, and that's
a mistake decided.
But I think it comes down, it's that, but it's probably decision making now more than anything else.
This is where orders for new umbrellas as well, by the way, on Monday.
But this is where it comes into, I think, your training sessions, right, where guys are in little match scenarios and they're forced to really think hard, and fatigue is kicking in. I remember we used to do it regularly, that when you're really, really tired, you push on for another 2 or 3 minutes of a match, and that's when the critical thinking really kicks in. That's when the guy who is really mentally strong makes the right decision, say, rather than go for the point that's half on, he'll take that extra step, suddenly there's someone there, throw it out to him, get that
That's where Clare have gone wrong in the first 10 minutes, right? The 7 wides, let them be 3 wides, Michael, and let them be 4 balls into John Conlon or Aaron Shanahan, because the one ball that went into Conlon, he won it in front of Burke, popped it to Ian Galvin and over the bar. So usually,
Michael, at this stage, you want the forwards taking the shots. Clare in that half was the backs were shooting from outside.
People are getting wet, but they won't mind if our county wins this one. Who is going to win it? Hopefully, we're going to find out. Ger, Brendan.
It'll be an awful game to lose, that's for sure. A match that started at 5 o'clock in what looked like summertime, it now looks like winter. We had lights, I think, at one stage. They're not on any longer. It's quite dark. It's Pádraig Mannion who's starting the second half, giving this ball to Conor Cooney, who's back on as a replacement for Conor Whelan, one of the many changes that are being made during the additional period. So 10 minutes to resolve it. Advantage Galway. Clare with Colm Galvin hitting it. Huge one. Putting the pressure on. In it goes to Shanahan! The man who's come back from injury. The man who's meant so much. Aaron Shanahan has cracked in a goal that sees Clare go in front.
Yeah, the Twin Towers are inside in the full forward line. Shanahan and Conlon. There's no stopping them once there, to be fair. It comes inside. You can see the consternation of Galway defence. It catches the ball. Unbelievable catch considering the conditions. Gauntlet down to Galway now, Ger.
Yeah, who's going to win it now? Here comes Cathal Mannion, whose great block in the first half was so important, and there's a response immediately from Jason Flynn over the bar. First point since he's come on. So it's Clare 127, it's Galway 127, level for the 7th time in this wonderful semi-final. On as far as Colm Galvin, shooting it in once more. He's got Conlon, he's got Shanahan inside there. 3 defenders against him. Conlon has it. Conlon hits it off John Hanbury, and it's gone out for the first 65 of the match.
We're going to see a lot of that now in the second half. The 2 big men inside the edge of the square, they're going to be the ones in greasy conditions. They're going to put the Galway full back line under pressure. Be fair to John Conlon, he's going for winner takes all, going for a goal. Deflected, hard to take frees as well now, so nothing can be taken for granted.
I think Davy Glennon has just come on as well, number 26. We saw the manager, Micheál Donoghue, check how many changes they had. And Joe Canning is the one who's having to go off.
Yeah, his knee after a jar on the ground still isn't right, in fairness to Joe. There's nothing he could do to stay on. But now at this stage, Rod McInerney gone, Joe Canning gone, so...
If they reach the final, Galway, there will be worries and concerns. Meanwhile, Peter Duggan hopes that Clare will be there. He's missed one for once.
He has. It's very, very difficult out there, Ger, now with the way the conditions have turned. The ball and the hurley all very greasy.
I must say, I don't think any team deserves to lose this semi-final, but there's still time for one of them to win it. On it comes as far as Pádraig Mannion. Walloped away there by Aidan Hart. Down towards Conor Cooney once again for Galway, taking on Jack Brown. Darting inside, darting back out again, hitting it into the ground and missing the chance to get the vital score that Galway needed.
Yeah, both sets of forward lines are going for the killer blow. And again, the high ball dropping into the square. Shannon keeps his eye on it and just flashed it. James Cahill was on-sighted, but it's a big, big threat Clare having there now.
Huge power in there, as you say. Lots of powerful players down there. It's Shane O'Donnell once again, went off, came back on. David Fitzgerald back in here again, inside towards John Conlon, blocked. Taken down here by Pádraig Mannion. Mannion on the ground, trying to get it for Galway. Everybody trying to win this next ball. It's Conlon instead. The referee blows his whistle, saw a little tongue back, and it's going to be a free in for Clare. They're level at the moment, remember, 127 to 127. Clare looking to get the next vital advantage with nearly 4 minutes gone in the first period of extra time.
Yeah, and Conlon there again, puts the head down, gets a flick that knocks the hurley out of his hand and earns the free.
There'll be 6 more minutes to go after this, and the referee might add on an extra minute or so. It'll be touch and go, nip and tuck, as they say, and all the other cliches from this right to the end.
You can't really see it in the shot there either. It was absolute thunder rain that's coming down here now in Croke Park. As I said, there's nothing as can be taken as a given.
Duggan missed the last. He's not going to miss this one. They're in front by 1, Clare. He's got 14. 15 shots on the target in all, made 14 of them. We're about to see a change, as you can see. Number 17, Rory Hayes, who played in the last match in the quarter-final for Clare against Wexford, about to come on. James Skehill pucking it out for Galway. They now need the next score. Across comes David McInerney to make it safe for Clare. Into Colm Galvin, looking around him. Second time of asking, wallops it away downfield to the flying Shane O'Donnell. Went off in normal time, disappointed. Back on now to try and really make an impact. Hits his shot, hopes for the best. He's got it, I think he has. 3 for O'Donnell. The man who got 3-3 in the All-Ireland final 5 years ago has put the banner 2 points in front.
He has, and the last thing he wants a Galway defender to be caught one-on-one with a arrested Shane O'Donnell. Great score.
Well, remember, at the beginning of the game, there were 9 points down, beginning as in 17 minutes into the match. Free to Galway. That's Johnny Glynn who was fouled. Giving it off now to the new free taker is Jason Flynn. It won't faze him.
No, I don't know. You'd expect not anyway, and the rain has eased off here slightly. The sun is breaking through, but again, it's that man Jonathan Glynn who steps up to get his hand on the ball. You can see David Fitzgerald there wishing Jason Flynn the best of luck with this free.
Well, he did a lot of the free taking whenever Joe Canning was not able to play, so a very accomplished free taker. Scored a point from play a little while ago, straight in front of the post, high up into the Hill 16 area, but between the uprights and over the bar, doing what he had to. So it's back to a 1-point game, and it's anybody's match still, and there are 4 minutes left. Puck out for Clare to be taken by Donald Toohey from Crusheen. Up into the air. Johnny Cohen goes attacking it, but so too was Tony Kelly. It spills away from the 2 of them. Back once again come Clare, and Neil Galvin trying to kick it forward here, trying to get some possession. 2 men after him. Still he goes, little hand pass inside, eventually reaching Peter Duggan, trying to get away from a couple of would-be challengers. They block it down. Galway win it back, show tenacity, get that ball back out there through Daithí Burke. Eventually downfield it comes to Johnny Glynn. Glynn going forward. This could be the moment. Johnny Glynn laying it off to Jason Flynn. He had a goal, but he's got a point, and the teams are level.
Great skill by Jonathan. When he breaks through there, he gets a good pass across, and the goalie's out very, very quickly. But again, it's that man Jonathan Glynn setting it up.
129 to 129. Fatigue, weariness, everywhere in evidence. As I mentioned, it's going to be one of those days when if you lose it, you're going to regret it for an awful, awful long time.
Well, you are, and that's it, you know, and it means so much to both sets of players down there, but you're just trying to pull the energy out of someplace. Jason Flynn got clattered there by Donald Toohey as he flashed it over the bar.
Goalkeeper really in quite a degree of distress there.
He is, and it looks like a dead leg of sorts when you come out like that, you know, and you follow through. It could be Jason's knee would catch you and wind you.
We've seen goal opportunities at both ends, but I think that great run by Jonathan Glynn there at the end, that deserved a goal. I really thought that just Jason Flynn had the opening.
He did, but Justy got it in his hand. In fairness to Doherty too, he was coming out of his eye line, and Flynn decided, I'm not going to hit it up against the goalie, and just went, look, we'll get an equaliser here and worry about the next ball then.
Dr. Pádraig Quinn there on the left-hand side, attending to the injured Clare. Micheál Donoghue has done a brilliant job with Galway over the last number of years. They'd been the nearly team for so long. Remember, this is the 4th year in a row that they're in the All-Ireland semi-final. You in Tipperary know all about that. You played them so often. For Clare, it was an experience that they hadn't had for 5 years. It's going to stand to them, but which of them will be there in mid-August when we're here to see the All-Ireland hurling final? That's the big question.
Yeah, well, it's talking about 18 now. Whatever about your development for 2019, it doesn't matter a jot at this stage in the game. Clare will be happy that their goalkeeper Donald Toohey looks like he's going to be okay. But whichever team there gets caught here at the end, whether it's a point or whether we go for a replay, neither side can say in the finish that they haven't given everything they have in the tank. They've shown all the characteristics why we love this game so much: resilience, energy, heart, the skill. Everything has been inside in this match, and the crowd are getting behind now both their sets of teams.
Absolutely correct. Here, here. Donald Toohey then for Clare. We're in the last couple of minutes. It'll be 3 minutes of additional time onto the extra time. So here we go. Who's going to get that place in the All-Ireland final? Galway looking to try and set off and get the next score. Down towards Davy Glennon. Remember the free he won back in 2012 in the All-Ireland? Then it was against Kilkenny. Took it to a replay. He's done exactly that here. History repeating itself. But there's no Joe Canning on the park right now to take it.
Peter Duggan was very rash coming in there, you know. He tried it. The hurley held short and everything, you know, and
Jonathan Glynn injured.
Yeah, Jonathan Glynn injured, but there's guys going to go down all over the place here now, just to whether really cramp or whether slowing the clock. Either way,
the pressure is now going to be on Jason Flynn. He got that last point. There's Joe in there. He would be the taker, but sitting there behind his captain David Burke, so many weary bodies. You also see Conor Whelan there in the second level. But right now, it's the responsibility of Jason Flynn, the scorer of 3 points in this match, to put Galway in front in the semi-final and to make maybe a place in the final theirs. It's going up, it's going in, it's...
I think it's the tailed one again. We saw a lot of these shots in the first half there that just tailed. We thought they were over the bar. The breeze coming around the end of the stand there was from right to left across Donald Toohey's goal.
We thought the sun was in the eyes of the umpires, and it was indeed at that stage, but the sun's now gone into a large extent.
To be fair to the umpire, he's probably right as well, just to be sure, and it's wide.
It's wide, and it's such an important one. You're absolutely correct. We've got to use the technology. The important thing is, even if it's delayed, get it right.
Yeah, it's really, really important. Both these sets of teams deserve it. And it's hard to look there on Jason Flynn. It was a big opportunity.
30 seconds of the stoppage time remaining. The teams are deadlocked. One score required. Dáithí Burke giving it out to Johnny Cohen, who had a chance at the end of the 70 minutes maybe to have won it. Will this be the winner?
Yep.
It might be.
He's got that one, I would think, all right.
The white flag is raised this time after the umpires had to think about it.
But it's the full back who came out playing centre back. Dáithí Burke says, I want to win this match. Catches it, falls on his bad ankle and finds the pass to Johnny Cohen. Clear on finish yet though.
Jack Brown down as far as Shanaher. We've had a look at it again with our technology. It was a definite point. Shanaher's one, however, is gone wide. It's Galway by 1. Look at the clock. We were to have 3 minutes of additional time. As you can see, we're down to about 45 seconds.
And there'll probably be another minute maybe on top of that, to be fair, with the injuries and the freeze and all. Aaron Shanahan should have held that up a little bit longer. The angle was tight.
James Scahill down towards Conor Cooney. McInerney trying to win it against Davy Glennon. Glennon, the number 26, playing football with it. Back out it comes again here, near that sideline. Line ball has been given. It's to Galway. They keep the pressure on Clare.
They do.
And the All-Ireland champions are still in business.
They are. The fair's to James Cahill. It was a great puck out because he put the ball right down on the corner, knowing that if Clare won it, they had a long, long ways to go to come up the pitch.
And when the flag of the linesman James McGraw has been raised there, you could see the strength of the breeze. No Joe Canning, so this time it's Niall Burke to try and cut it in. Will he go for a score? He's having a go. He's put that ball wide, however. 3 minutes has been played, and a little more. It's now at the discretion of the referee. Will Clare get one more shot? Up comes Colm Galvin. On to Morey. In as far as Cleary. They've got to get it forward to Fitzgerald here. 65 metres out. 4 Galway men in front of him. Back out it comes again. It's an opportunity, a real opportunity for Jason McCarthy. They're level. It's a replay surely now at this stage. Jason McCarthy, the substitute, has come on and done the business for Jerry O'Connor and Donald Maloney. And they're 130 to 130. The referee calls time. They're going to have to meet one more afternoon to decide which of them will make it to the All-Ireland final 2018. It was an absolute epic,
an
Brendan.
unbelievable game, and Niall Burke forgot to watch the video of Cork versus Clare in that All-Ireland final. He went for it, and guess what? Clare pop up the pitch, and I don't think today, Gerard, to be fair, either team deserved to lose. It was just a fantastic game of hurling, and we're all looking forward to this replay already.
Johnny Cohen thought he had done it for Galway. He got the second last score. Well, there was time for one more, and Jason McCarthy did it for Clare. In a way, it was a bit like the drawn All-Ireland final between Cork and Clare back in 2013. On that occasion, Cork thought they had won it with one last score. But there was one more to come, as we all know. And the replay, well, that was a memorable afternoon for Clare. But these two teams, with Johnny Cohen there, switching and swapping shirts, they certainly will be looking at the next episode of this, and it's got to come up pretty quickly now.
It is, and looking at it from Micheál Donog's point of view there, he's going to have a big question about recovery. He's got Garrod McInerney, who had to come off injured. Joe Canning comes off with a jarred knee. Dahi Burke's ankle after that length of time. Can he go again if the replay is on next weekend? You know, so all these questions are out there, but Clare, considering the first 17 and a half minutes that they had, it was an unbelievable turnaround to get their structure right and have their belief and come back and get the draw.
Well, it finished Clare 130, Galway 130. Let's get some comment now down at the sideline with Claire McNamara.
Peter Duggan, congratulations. Rescued a draw here. You had been 9 points down at one point, but of course you could have won it. What an extraordinary tough semi-final.
Yeah, well, look, we knew it was going to be a tough semi-final. Didn't expect it really to go into extra time. I thought Galway were well on top in the game, but it just showed the heart that we have as a team. We never gave in. We stayed fighting back, and in fairness to every one of our lads, you can see the heart that's in them. We just didn't give up, and we got the result in the end. Fair play to Jason for sticking it over. It might look like an easy score, but I can tell you there's no score out here that's easy.
Extraordinary day, and you've got to come back and do it all again now.
Yeah, well, look, that's one thing about hurling. You have to relish your chances inside Croke Park, and if I had to have replay after replay, I'll take it. You can't beat any kid that's grown up. Your whole ambitions is to play inside Croke Park, and we're lucky enough to get another day out of it, which is brilliant.
You have the momentum now after testing the All-Ireland champions like this?
I don't know about that now, but look, we'll just have to go back and recover, see what happens then after that.
Well, Peter, congratulations. You are the Littlewood Ireland's man of the match, and Littlewood's managing director Jeff Scully is here with your award.
Congratulations to Peter Duggan. Fantastic game for Clare here today. There is a replay. It is next weekend. It is next Saturday. Where it's going to be, don't ask me, but we'll find out. Reaction to this thrilling All-Ireland hurling semi-final when we return. Galway and Clare have finished all square in what was certainly an enthralling All-Ireland hurling semi-final. Just to confirm, it finished Galway 129, Clare 129. We here in Studio have spent the last 4 minutes debating and pondering what's going to happen next week. From the point of view, before we know who's going to win or anything like that, is just where the match is going to be played. There are television commitments to Camogie, there's other things on, it's all a bit
Michael,
difficult.
the big thing for Galway's in this, the injuries. They have to look at them closely. I think it's going to be on probably the week.
Yeah.
That's just
Are you looking for 2 weeks?
I know, but Joe Cannon is... No, not looking for anything. We don't mind. We're there.
Oh, a fight talk.
But I'm just saying to you, like, Joe Cannon is injured. Came off injured.
Garrod
McInerney come off injured.
They're both in trouble.
They're both centre backs in the forward. Now, if they're missing, I'm just saying at the start the next day, it'll test the panel. Like, Clare got kind of half injuries and has got exhausted, but I don't think there was any injury.
Not really.
What Clare done was got a bit of game time into Aaron Shanahan, which is a significant thing. Like you're saying today, he's coming in there, put into the panel. You'd say he's probably likely he's going to get a gallop. Number 26 on his back, and he comes in and has a huge impact.
What a long, lonesome road he's travelled, Michael, that crusade. And the lads have been through it, it's not. He's not the first, he won't be the last. But to come in and the talk during the week, he was being added to the 26 and to fetch that ball on the edge of the square and bury it. And Clare probably needed a goal.
That injury happened in a league game between UL and LIT in St. Pat's Ground in Limerick. Under lights, he went up, caught a ball and came down and twisted and gone. Well,
I'm sure he forgot all about that today in one moment here at Croke Park.
And to be fair to Galway as well, then, great Jason Flynn, the way they took on Johnny Glynn, Pádraig Mannion, the defiance of them to come back and make a draw of it as well. And
we'll all debate at a later date the structure of this year's championship, and clearly there were a couple of bumps and bruises in it. But I mean, at the same time, hasn't this been just a brilliant summer of hurling?
Look, for entertainment, you couldn't beat it. We'd have to say, look, at times we tend to be critical, and there's a few old controversies this year that have raised their heads. But to be fair, we've been treated to a feast of hurling. You could not ask for more. Absolutely, there's a few little tweaks here and there that could tidy it up, and you'd say, look, ideally, if the year had been just a slight bit longer and get more club in there. But you're always going to have that. I suppose the concern is from the point of view is when these things come in, rather than going and pilot it for a year with a view to reviewing it or consolidating it, it's either it stays or go. It's gone in for 3 years now, we understand. So it depends on what way maybe clubs in different counties decide or what way.
Well, Eddie said he couldn't ask for more, but I suspect we'll all ask for a great game again tomorrow and a great replay.
Yeah, we'll ask everyone to tune into the game Monday night. Let's see who founded this sport. And as after giving us this again today, what a gift we've had from the gods. We call it.
Michael, you'd have to say, even they call it there in the commentary, Hurling was the winner. It was hard to see you'd pity any team losing. No one deserved to lose that. But as you say, all year it's been fantastic, the amount of games. But I suppose it's kind of, as you say, the season is very kind of condensed in, and they'll have to have a look at the club scene, Michael, because if it keeps going this way, it's fantastic if you're an inter-county player.
Clubs are going to kick
the clubs after a few years, it'll go like the rugby. The scene will be gone. So I think they will, because
the April thing didn't work anyway.
No. But I think,
as I said, I suppose. That's one for another day, and there is a
but I think
debate
to be fair,
there. No question about
Michael,
that, but
it's been a great kind of a weekend for hurling in general, because John Horan and Tom Ryan came up to the mid. They got their heads together. They sorted the problem in Cork, and I think when they look at this end of the season, they'll sort this as well. Two very wise men and doing a great job, really.
All right, okay, lads. Thanks for all of that. It is time, finally, for us to head away here for the evening.
It was an absolute epic. It certainly was. You're breathless to watch it again, even on a Sunday night. Don't know where to start. There's as many talking points here as well. Jackie, did Clare surprise you?
I wouldn't say surprise me, Des, because I felt going into it, although they weren't the favourites and I thought Galway would win it, they have a method of play that they were going to ask questions of this Galway team that haven't been asked this year. Their method of play, how they create space, their distribution, and in Tony Kelly and in John Conlon, I knew that Axis was going to ask questions of the rocks that this Galway team is built on, Garrod McInerney and Daithí Burke. And they did ask those questions. And at times Galway had the answers, and at times Clare got on top. So I knew that they would ask those questions, because those haven't been asked of Galway. They've relatively got through the year pretty easy, except for the Leinster final the first day against Kilkenny. But it was just an exhilarating game, It was 94 minutes of pure ecstasy.
Sure was. Obviously no one deserved to lose. What did you make of Galway, Donald?
I was a bit disappointed with them, Des, I'll be honest with you. I know Johnny Glynn had a fierce influence in the game in the first 20 minutes particularly, right, and they went, 172 points up, and, they did similar during the year where they had big leads, and I thought that, when you looked at how Clare played in Munster, when Cork pushed up in Clare in the second half of the Munster final and forced Donald Tuohy to hit long puck outs, right, they found it very difficult to get any kind of, possession around the middle, and I think Galway abdicated that. They left Clare have sharp puck outs. Donald Tuohy First couple went astray, but they hit sharper goals. Colm Galvin came back and ran the show. I felt that Galway needed to push up on them and that they relied too much on just the long ball. Johnny will field it above, he'll lay it off and we'll get a score, whereas I would have preferred, when you look at the likes of Conor Whelan, who to me is a super corner forward, he gets no supply, right? Carl Mannion got no supply, but he could run at his marker inside, right? And I felt that Galway needed to sort of change that aspect of the game for the replay, but of course they have a number of injuries, so they may be a bit in trouble with it, but I was disappointed with them yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of talking points obviously ahead of that replay. Out of curiosity, it's not really important, it's like asking who's your favourite child. Everyone loved the two semi-finals. Did you prefer one to the other, Ken?
They're hard to separate. Look, I loved the weekend. It was unbelievable weekend for hurling, in all fairness, but I thought today's probably first 70 minutes was, I thought was, in my opinion, slightly better. Probably extra time last night was brilliant. So it's hard. They were unreal games, and as I said to you, what an advertising for the sport. It was an incredible weekend, really.
Which one did you prefer? Well, that's the stupid question, isn't it?
Last night.
Well, I think that you know the extra time in last night was a classic. I mean, you'd have to say it like that, right? You know, I was hoping that Cork would scrape by today, but you would have to say, I mean, these are amateur players and they're asked to play extra time. You know, would a replay have been out of order, right? Are we that sort of set to, you know, to try and condense the hurling championship?
Well, we are. I mean, the plan is that it's more condensed, and it was voted on. But you think there should be a replay and not extra time?
I would think of this weekend now, right? Okay, Galway versus Clare was a classic, right? Right, it was a fantastic game, but it finished at midnight on Saturday night because this game today took over. So the 7 days, I think that if you had the semi-final, the second semi-final next weekend, I think there should be semi-finals on separate weekends. I think hurling needs promotion. Gaelic football doesn't. 32 countries play, plus London, New York, whatever, play football. There's only a number of top quality and hurling counties, and I think they need all the promotion that they can get. So I would separate it from that. And as well as that, right, you're asking, you know, your top, the cream of the hurlers, right, okay? You know, the welfare of the players, how are they today, right? Some of them cramping up and whatever else. They're just amateur players. I don't know, is that fair to them?
And injuries and extra time for Galway is also a question. But it's interesting, you prefer elongate the championship back for the promotion of the game, which I understand. But Ken, you were saying to me, you love the fact that it's condensed.
Look, I just think, I remember chatting to my own friends there last year and stuff, or a couple of years ago, and I just think it's great that hurling is really taken over the summer. To me, I think there's a buzz about every single game. And sometimes I won Munster finals before, and there was 5 and 6 week gap, and there was none. And it's only say the teams that are in the All-Ireland at times where the buzz really is. And at the moment, hurling is gone through the roof. Okay. That and Love Island are the things of the summer, I think.
All right, that says more about you than it does about hurling, I think. Right, let's get back to this game. We're going to hear what the two camps made of it all. First of all, Clare McNamara spoke to both sides afterwards.
What a gift we've had from the gods.
Your chances inside Croke Park. If I have replay after replay, I'll take it. You can't beat any kid that's going up. Your whole ambitions is to play inside Croke Park.
Yeah, look, it was an epic game, an epic encounter. You know, we started well. You know, Clare came back into it, and you know the game probably took a life of its own. And look, you know, probably stages where we thought we could have had it, and vice versa. But look, you know, I'm really proud of our players, you know, the character, the heart and determination they showed to stay here and just regroup now and go again next week.
Look, I mean, it takes really good players. You can change structures all you want, right? But you know, you have to have players who are able to really execute. And like we're largely powerless when they're out there, to be honest. And you know, we had some great leaders out there today.
I suppose both teams had chances to win it, and both teams clawed back, you know, a few points of deficits throughout the game, and you know, probably draw might be a fair result, I suppose, at the end of that.
Jason McCarthy, they're level. It's a replay surely now at this stage.
Both teams have lots left in the tank. It's only the end of July after all.